HBCU OverDrive is proudly sponsored by WeWorkForEverything.org. At WeWorkForEverything.org, this is for those who are trying to build for a dream with their latest hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and accessories and more. You can have it all here at a reasonable price. Black owned and operated out of the great state of New York. Like I said, get suited and booted. Check it out at WeWorkForEverything.org. Peace. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is Saturday, July 22nd, the year of our Lord 2023. We are here. We are back with another HBCU Saturday Night Live in conjunction with HBCU OverDrive and shelovesthee. Make sure you subscribe to both platforms. Make sure that you like, comment, and share it with us with your friends. Make sure that you get everything. Hit that notification bell, mainly to get everything HBCU OverDrive and shelovesthee. So I'm waiting on for my co-host to come in. So let's see what she got going on. If I need to send her the link, if so. Had to put my phone on. Put my phone on mute. I don't want to get copyrighted because I got Key Glock as my ringtone. All right. She said she'll be on in 5 minutes, so I'm just going to just shoot the link to her. But let's see what we got. What we got in the building? Let's see who we got in the building. Sister Zakia, good evening to you. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. We got, as always, Mr. Rozier, FAMU alum. Sonic Boom, what's going on? I don't know about still on the spotlight, man, but we'll talk about that. Chuck Hunt, representing Monroe, Louisiana, is in the building. If you want to know a lot of things, if I can't give it to you right then and there, or Timona can't do it, my man Chuck Hunt got my back right there. Oh, Uncle Steve, what you got? Lord. We got Paul Hollis, Mr. Hollis. Let's go. What's going on? Yes, you Tigers. Hey, he said all the way at H Town. All the way at H Town. Know what I'm talking about? And as I said, my co-host, she said she'll be on. Give her 5 minutes. Give her 5 minutes. Got Chris Dukes up in here. What's going on, man? Miss Mary from the 305 FAMU. We got Jay White, Alabama A&M is always in the building. Oh Lord, nah. I ain't gonna give y'all the L. I only do that. I would do that after the game. If we win, you get the L. We lose, we take the L. So hey. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Hardy? What's going on? So man, we went on for my co-host to get up in here. Man, but look, y'all already know how we do it up in here. We have fun. We talk about sports. We talk, especially football, and we be petty at the same time. So it's nothing that we don't know. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, kind of have to clean off the camera. What's going on? Hey, what's going on? You the real doctor. You got a PhD at the end. I just named myself after the famous Doc Holliday from the Tombstone. She on her way, man. She on her way. She had to go to the store. All right, got you. I got you, Uncle Sid. I'm gonna go ahead and give this to you. Send this on to you. But how's that, man? Look, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? So just let everybody know what we're doing. As y'all see the banner for the show, if you see the banner for the show. And as always, she back from the store, y'all. Y'all ain't want nothing, so
Dang. Y'all ain't been on 8 minutes and I already see some snakes up in the chat.
They knew
Did
what.
y'all start the show already? I know y'all can't be on that subject yet.
No, we ain't even start, and we ain't
We
started
ain't
the
even
subject
got
yet.
out the clear. Who's in the chat? Let us know where you from.
Yeah, we ain't started the stuff. We ain't
Mr.
started that
Campbell,
subject
let
yet.
us get some kind of like a let's break the ice first.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Let's talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. So we gonna look. We got, like I said, like the stream. Please like the stream as you tune in.
Yes,
Like
let us know where you at. EA's in the chat. Listen, we're okay. We got Mississippi in the house. We got Dr. Strachan or
Mm-hmm. I call him Doc.
He said he's from FAMU. But where you at, Doc? Ed Reed sent them. Ooh, they messy. Lord. Listen, before we even jump into that, we got Mississippi be in the house, boy.
Oh yeah.
If don't nobody else be in the house, Mississippi. Okay, we got H-Town.
Got Texas up in this thing.
Let's break the ice before y'all get into that.
So I put in, everybody know what we put it up in here. So we are doing a live fundraising show today. So basically,
I got our little slide for that. I made it. That's why I was late.
Oh no, you good. Well, I figured you were gonna. I figured you were gonna do a slide anyway.
How you?
Mr. Allen Flint, Michigan up in here. Flint, Michigan
Uh-oh.
here. Flintstone.
We got Miami. Miami's in the house. Miss Mary.
Yeah, Miss Mary.
Yes.
She
Tampa,
305.
Florida repping. Listen, Florida is in the house tonight, okay? Uh-oh.
Keish.
Mr. Brown Senior's in here. I got a special treat for the Southern delegate. I got a special treat for them tonight.
He kind of calmed down because I did talk about a Southern player the other night. So we did talk about Jordan Carter. Black in the
I live in
Empire
DC.
from B More.
Okay, be more in the house. I live in DC, born in Miami, visit mom in North Carolina. Wow, all over. Where's Lons? What does that mean?
Mr. Penn, what's going on, Mr. Penn?
Where's
Hey,
from?
if you got any kind of sketch, I know you sent me some sketches a while back as far as like a backdrop. But if you wanted to go ahead and send me one and we could just put it on the wall, I'd be more than happy to put it up there, man. And I'm gonna let them know Harlan Penn made this right here.
Uh-oh.
Long Island.
All right. New York. Uh-oh. Famu in the house, boy. Look, you gotta tread lightly with these rattlers tonight.
No, because we gonna talk. We surely gonna talk about that.
Yes.
We surely gonna talk about that.
We're gonna touch on it.
So of course, Mr. Crook, Baton Rouge, the red stick.
Southern through and through.
But he family though.
Uh-oh.
Granny Ann, you in California? What part of California you in, Granny Ann?
She said she is on the West Coast. She is on the West Coast.
And Mr. Penn said 858 all day.
So. If you know, listen, Adrian Cook is going to be messy in the chat, and we just gonna let him rock tonight.
Yeah, we totally, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk.
We're gonna let Adrian Cook rock in the chat. So definitely excited for tonight's show.
Yes.
Of course, this is me and Doc's Pre-SWAC Media Day live. Mm-hmm. It's a special. As many of you, I don't know, some people might not have heard because you haven't been on the channel, but me and Doc both got our media credentials. Was it last Thursday?
Yeah, on Thursday.
On Thursday, we got our approval to go to SWAC Media Day. So we are headed to our first SWAC Media Day. How do you feel about it, Doc?
Nervous.
Nervous?
Because we talked about this last night on camera.
Uh-oh.
We do interviews on just between cameras.
Right.
But it's a whole different animal when you actually in front of the coaches and the players.
Right. Especially if you are on the petty side. Now you gotta look them in the face. What was that you were saying? Oh, okay.
We're gonna be professional, but we're gonna look. But see, here's my whole thing. When we get there, my whole thing is to observe. I'm still gonna ask questions. I'm still gonna present myself, and she's gonna present herself as media entities. And we're gonna ask the questions. We're gonna ask the hard questions. But that's my whole thing. My whole thing is to basically just observe and see how, like, some of the people that's been doing this for the longest, I want to see how they go. That way, when we get, when next year come and we go back next year, we gonna,
And for me, I feel like this right here, like we need to go in 150%.
Right.
Because where are you going to get opportunity to have all of the head football coaches in the same vicinity,
Right.
the preseason conference, all first team and second team? Well, most of them are first teamers, right? They're going to be in the building all at one time. Where are you going to get that opportunity to possibly interview all of these people all at once?
Right.
So for me, I have a different perspective. I feel like we need to be going all in and getting those interviews out the way. Then you have content. You have probably about 20 different interviews. That's 20 different things that you can post on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just a great experience. I feel like we need to go at full throttle as much as possible, as much as possible with what equipment that we already have. We just gonna have to utilize what we got, Doc.
Yeah.
Greater later. Greater later.
Yeah, it gets greater later. That's my motto right there. Of course, I'm gonna utilize my webcam right here. I've been looking, I was looking on Amazon last night to see if they had a wide angle webcam, so kind of get more people, whoever comes in and talks to us. I've also been looking for the lavalier microphones.
And then for us, we kind of we represent the HBC community as far as the alumni, students, and supporters of HBCUs that are on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So we have a different perspective, and that's why we want for people to send us questions that you would like to ask the coach. Of course, respectful questions, but what is a question that you would want to ask Coach Dooley or Coach Hugh Jackson? What are some of the questions that you would ask that you have not had a chance to ask because we're actually going to be there? So in some ways, we kind of represent that community.
Right. And we both represent Jackson State. My partner in crime, she's going to represent JSU to the fullest. I'm going to rep JSU to the fullest. And it's good that both of our platforms, even though we talk about Jackson State because it's the hottest thing in town, but my whole thing is to get everybody.
Oh, of course. I mean, we cover. Of course, I'm through and through Jackson State, the I love, but I've covered other topics, maybe on a lighter note, but I definitely feel like being able to come to SWAC Media Day and talk with all of the coaches and the players, it's a great opportunity to even broaden that label of just being covering Jackson State. So, you ready to get into the smoke?
I ain't got a cigar right now, so.
Mr. Ragsdale, Coach Dooley is literally bringing Harold Blood with him to SWAC Media Day.
That's pretty much going to be his starter. So I want to give a shout out on my end for people who donated on my end. So last night I got Mr. Price, GA Price, sent me 25. The OG, C. Lee McInnes, 25 yesterday. And two people that, you know what I'm saying, these aren't my family members. Like I'm gonna tell people when I went down, I took my little small hiatus from Jackson. I went down to Stephen F. Austin. And I met a couple of people that was there. One of them is my bro, Chris Gallen, who is also is Peyton's godfather, which is my youngest daughter. So Peyton has two godfathers, and basically he sent 20 yesterday. He sent 20 today, and then Earlier this afternoon, my big little sister. So I'm gonna tell you this how it is. I am the oldest out of all of us, but my sister is the oldest out of the girls. So she sent me $50. So I want to shout out to my big sis, Miss Diana, Lady Di. That's what she called herself. She sent $50 earlier today. So right now, as of right now, while we're doing this show, I am at $275. So we need to keep it coming because Monday is like the cutoff date, and what my whole thing is whatever I have saved up, I'm trying to rent a car and just roll up out of there. Because I was looking at plane prices, and the cheapest ones that was round trip was on Southwest Airlines, and I'm a bit scared of cat when it comes to flying. I gotta be in control. I'm a control freak when it comes down to it. At least I know when I drive, I'm in control of everything. But I seen some tickets, they was like $265 and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay. Now I'm just want to try to see get a rental car,
Right.
cheap small rental car, and basically get a cheap hotel while on our way there, and then basically when we get there by 9:00 in the morning to the Birmingham Sheridan Hotel, get our credentials, and because media day starts at 10:00, they want to start
right at 10, and
10.
even yeah. So definitely gonna be up and ready by 8. I want to shout out the contributors, of course, as well. And I want to tell you, I'm so appreciative at everybody that sent a donation. So I would like to thank Avis, Miss Coleman, Mr. Hardy, Mr. EA. He said that FAMU was going to kick our butt, but that was before this little incident happened. So we'll see. Mr. Cook, Mr. Campbell, Miss Woods and Miss Minifield, Mr. Allen and Mrs. Foote, and Mr. Carey, Mr. Barnes, Mr. McGinnis, Miss Thompson, and Miss Jana. And thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you all for investing in our platforms. We are definitely planning on increasing the level of awareness of HBCUs one live at a time. And we're appreciative for all that you have done. So thank you so much for that. I'm excited.
Let me give a shout out to my man MEAC Mike. MEAC Mike, man. Like he been like I'm gonna tell y'all, MEAC Mike been down with my channel since the day I first went live, when, like I said, we only had like 2 or 3 people live on the show. And he just sent me $19.70 when the MEAC was founded. Hey, I like it's a good gesture.
Yes, yes. I'm ready. I only have a 5-hour drive. Yeah, I only have a 5-hour drive, so 5 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, me, I got 8 hours.
Oh wow.
Oh, I got it. Oh, hold on, I got it.
You be trucking.
There we go. I had the reverb on. Can you hear me?
What'd you say now?
I kind of hit a button. Mr. Hargrove, I appreciate you for the donation, $25. You are good with me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Miss Keish said that she would like to send a donation. So
you know what?
My PayPal and Venmo, and then I can Cash App Doc.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
send it to send it to either PayPal, her PayPal or Venmo, and then she'll send whatever to me, and they'll work from there.
Also, I'm so grateful for our HBCU community because I feel like we coalesce around each other. Like we'll definitely talk mess to each other.
Oh yeah,
especially in the SWAC. Who do you think talks more mess, the MEAC or the SWAC?
us, hands down, us, the SWAC, the SWAC. Ain't no sugarcoating, ain't no beating around the bush. The SWAC, we gonna talk noise. You could be the sorriest team in the SWAC, and we still gonna talk noise.
Yes. So be that we talk the most smack in the SWAC. I was telling everybody about how the beef rules went yesterday, but I didn't get to finish it because we had to get off. So the HBCU, well, I'll just say the SWAC beef rules.
Mm-hmm.
And this for me, I know this is how Jackson State works. So it's HBCU versus everybody. So if somebody's talking about an HBCU and you're not an HBCU, you cannot talk about this. You cannot have a conversation.
Yep.
Then when it's HBCUs, we're going to go SWAC versus MEAC. So SWAC school's supposed to be, if it's a beef between MEAC and SWAC, you know you're supposed to pick the SWAC. Then once you get into SWAC, I feel like it's the state that you're in versus another state. So if it's Mississippi versus Louisiana, then after that, you just get into, all of the different beefs that everybody has in the SWAC. But I'm very proud of HBCUs for standing up for FAMU today.
Oh yeah,
because there was a lot of you by yourself talk more smack. Wait, hold up. Like I said, I am grateful for everybody. We sliding for HBCUs.
mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. So I'm grateful for that because I think the problem is with white media is sometimes they spread misinformation or they make it badder than what it is, or they vilify our schools. And it's like, whoa, where were y'all at when Isaiah Land or Marquise Bell, had all this good press coming out of Florida A&M?
Right. I think when it comes down to it, we're not gonna let outsiders try to downgrade us.
Right.
As we're not gonna let outsiders try to downgrade us. Like I could talk trash to MEAC Mike about the MEAC, about let's just say Norfolk State. Like we'll whoop the dogness out of Norfolk State. But let somebody that's like from, let's just say, from the University of Virginia or Virginia Tech try to say anything about Norfolk State, then everybody is going to be on their head.
Right. Like who? Whoa. Too much dip on your chip. You are we going to talk about that now or?
So I want to, first of all, I know we talked, you kind of brought, you had the video up yesterday and it was brief because I kind of caught the end of it on your show.
Oh, you want to talk about that?
Let's talk about Trey Oliver with the smoke.
Let's talk about that, okay?
Let's talk about Trey Oliver with the smoke. I never, like I said, I watched MEAC Media Day yesterday, and when Trey Oliver was Coach Oliver was on the stand with Tiffany and Jay Walker. Of course, Jay Walker is ex-Howard, quarterback.
Howard delegate.
Uh-huh.
We can put it, I mean,
He I think Jay said, well, have you seen Howard's rings? And Coach Oliver just busted out and said, what, those Clash rings that y'all got? I was like, wow. He called he called Howard's championship rings Clash rings.
I needed for Howard to fight back, but I guess they said I don't know if it's maybe the class and prestige and professionalism that they decided not to fight back. South Carolina State should have came to their aid.
Nah.
I put it up there. All right, you ready?
Let's go.
What you mean conference championship game? Should there be a MEAC conference championship game at the end of the season to see who goes to the Celebration Bowl? Let me tell you this. We play every team in our conference, okay? We didn't need a conference championship game. We need a conference championship game. Okay. Put 50 points up on Howard University. What more we need to play again? Who gonna come back and see that? Would you go back and play that? And I love Coach Larry Scott. Larry Scott is a great coach, unbelievable resume, all the places he's been. Howard is an outstanding program. But at the end of the day, we were a better football team. I understand the rules had to change, and the commissioner, they tweaked all that stuff. But no, we don't need a conference championship game with 6 teams. No.
That man said, why do we need a conference championship game? First of all, we play how we smoked them by 50.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I had to put myself on mute. We smoked FAMU by 50, and everybody still wants to see that. We smoked Grambling by 50. People would have came this year to see that. So, but I will say this, and there's some truth to that as well. Folks was like, the amount of attendance at the first game wasn't that high. So there's no need to repeat it.
That man said, we beat you by 50. Who gonna come see that again?
They might have, in your words, they might have caught them slipping, because you're talking mess about Howard, but didn't South Carolina State beat you?
Yeah, South Carolina State came in and tried to skull drug them in
a 3-8 team.
But I had to laugh at that and said, why, like, dude. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Coach Oliver was talking real slick even before the season even started.
Oh Lord!
Like last season, he was talking greasy. He said he knew his team was good that go to the Celebration Bowl.
And then you know what? Somebody said he was talking mess after the Celebration Bowl.
Oh yeah, he was talking big. He was talking big shit after the Celebration Bowl.
And see, I wasn't. Actually, I'm just going to tell you like this with the Celebration Bowl, which it still kind of pierces me right here in the chest deeply, because I was ready to go. I was hyped about going. I'd already had my ticket, had my hotel booked and everything. And thank you, Miss Simpson. Miss Simpson sent us a donation.
All right.
So I will send you out CashApp you.
All right.
$25. Thank you, Miss Simpson. I was so hurt. I was like, I'm going to watch this on TV when Coach Prime said he's not going to be there right before, right after the SWAC championship. We're all hyped because we just won. So I decided not to go. So whatever was happening, the press conference, I didn't watch none of that. So all I'm going to say, though, about talking that mess is for coaches, it makes for bulletin board material. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Not for fans, because fans going to talk mess. But now he's going to have a target on his back. Central, y'all better watch out because the MEAC is coming for you.
But
and Mr. Green's talking about they have a right to talk, but every time Jackson State talk mess, you wrong, you wrong, you wrong. You wrong, you wrong, you wrong.
Oh no.
We don't have a right to talk, and we don't won SWAC championship 2 years in a row, but we don't have a right to talk mess and be boisterous and talk mess. Come on now, Mr. Green, you got to be fair now.
That's what comes with the game.
Like, comes with the territory, right?
Yeah, it comes with the territory. Like, you're gonna talk noise. Shoot, when I'm gonna be honest with you, my cousins played. You know, they played in high school. Like, they didn't care who was in front of them.
Right.
They were gonna talk all the noise that they thought.
That's probably like that's how Southern is. That's how Southern is. They be talking mess. Big mess. Yes, Miss Granny Ann. Yes, Mr. Crook is right. Coach Green is green.
Hey, at least Coach Green gave us congratulations for us getting our media. I'll give him that.
Just like he gave you, oh no, he didn't give you cool points. He gave you cool points for Jordan Carter, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was talking with Adrian because I think Coach Green went on the live on that day. He wasn't on the.
Let me get. Okay. So, whenever you're ready, you can start the big conversation. But I also have some pettiness to share regarding Southern because they're always talking mess. And I'm gonna do it while you talk because I had just got the screenshots. So I'm gonna put the screenshot together and we're gonna do
okay. First of all, before we get to all the pettiness and to all what's important for tonight, the players, like we said, the players are gonna be at Media Day this year. Is as follows. You have for let me see. I think Arkansas Pine Bluff is in the offensive lineman and defensive lineman, and Coach Hampton will be there. So I think this will be the first time we'll actually hear Coach Hampton speak to the public since he's been hired at Pine Bluff. But with Pine Bluff, you got Ryan Atkins and Anas Luckman. Atkins is a offensive lineman, and Luckman is a defensive lineman for Pine Bluff. Of course, with them having Coach Alonzo Hampton in tow.
I'm gonna pull that up for you.
Yeah.
You're on UAPB right now, or you already?
Pine Bluff. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm getting ready to pull up that screen with the names of the players so that you can see them.
Right. They can see them, and then I can still read off on my.
I like that UAPB is bringing an offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
You see it? I pulled it up.
Adrian, good time, but let me get my Mississippi moonshine.
Oh Lord!
I'm gonna blow this up to the screen. Y'all know what you got.
All right. Can you see it?
I mean, I can see part of it from my end, but I'm still reading off from my phone.
Oh, okay.
So we have with Alabama A&M is Donovan Eaglin, who's the running back, and Zarion Hayes, who's the defensive end. I talked about Zarion on my last show as far as players to watch. You have for Alabama State, Jawan Howell, who's the running back, and Colton Bubba Adams, who's middle linebacker in that defense. And, they'll be heavily represented by Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. Come on. Some people don't know who
We're trying to be a reputable news outlet.
Trying to be a reputable.
Miss Beautiful. Miss Beautiful, we practicing.
We can't get to the
we practicing
just all the way. You gotta build up to it. I know them for mass communications. Gotta build up to it.
We gotta build up to it. It's a build up.
Of course, Alcorn gonna send Jarvion Howard. That's a head buster. And Malachi Bailey, who was a menace to society on the defensive line. And you already know the man himself, Coach Fred McNair, is going to be in tow. And if G was in here, he was
the man, the myth, the legend, Fred McNair.
And if G was in here, he would say Big Bad Braves. And if I'm here,
don't you do it.
Bad built Braves. That's what I call them. That's what I call them. Them bad built Braves.
Oh Lord. Oh my gosh.
Somebody almost had a damn heart attack when I said that the other day.
I could not believe you said that, but it was funny though. The bad built Braves. Good Lord.
Is gonna have Jimmy Robinson, and he's a running back, and Omari Hill Robinson as a defensive back. So, that's one person I need to do a player watch for next week. And they're gonna have their first year head coach, Raymond Woody, and we're not gonna talk no noise about him because he stepped into a situation basically that was kind of iffy.
His recruiting, he did a phenomenal job for when
he did a phenomenal job with recruiting, but he did step into a sticky situation, and I felt like he's been riding the ship ever since he got there. So that's good. And that's good for Bethune, and hopefully their press is going to be good, and there's more good coming out of Daytona Beach than bad press. FAMU is going to bring Jeremy Musa and Javon Morgan. I would have said on this one, I would have brought Isaiah.
Wait, they bringing who?
Jeremy Musa.
Musa?
Yeah.
Can y'all make sure Javon Morgan wasn't in that video, please? Let me go look up what he looked like.
And I would have brought Isaiah Major. I could have either brought Isaiah Major or I would have brought Gentle Hunt. Either one.
I pray that Javon Morgan was not. He's a graduate student, so he's older. So hopefully and prayerfully he was not in that video.
I hope so.
I don't think I didn't see Jeremy Musa, so that's good.
So Grambling, we already said Sundiata Anderson and Lewis Matthews. I already did player profile on both of them. Yes, we already know Sundiata Anderson is like a grown ass man when you stand next to him, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi Valley, Jamari Jones, quarterback, and I heard the story about that. Jamari Jones was in the portal for a second, and then coach asked to bring him back.
Wait. Who was in the portal?
Jamari Jones. So Jamari Jones was back up to Jelani Eason, and he did play in a couple of games last season. When Coach Wade came in, he jumped into the portal, but coach basically talked him out and feel he should be the starter for next season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be there. And Brandon Williams, he's a DB, so we'll see both of those guys there. Prairie View is going to bring Amar Antoine, and he's a running back. And then Keyshawn Johnson, not the receiver Keyshawn Johnson, not Mr. Catch the Damn Ball, but this college linebacker right here. And they're going to be represented by Coach Bubba McDowell.
Mm-hmm.
We have Southern University. Let me say it right for so Coach Green and Adrian Cook can get their rocks off. Southern A&M University.
So, okay. I just sent you something, Doc.
Okay.
So you can read it. Let's go to Southern.
So they got Harold Blood coming in.
So that's a main question. We've probably got that question probably about 3 or 4 times. Right. Who is Southern starting quarterback going to be? I don't know. I think that we don't want to assume, but I guess the question would be, you bought Harold Blood today for SWAC Media Day, so is he the front runner to be QB1 for this season?
Yeah, for right now, yeah.
I mean, he's at SWAC Media Day, unless they're trying to psych us out.
And then they got Jalen Campbell coming in, and you already know they're gonna be represented by the best dressed coach in the conference, Eric Dooley, Ascot Dooley, Kappa Dooley, is what we say. Texas Southern, you already know. Andrew Body. And Jacob
Last
Williams.
year I used to call him Andrew Nobody.
Yep.
In response to I can't even, who shall not be named.
And with Jacob Williams, and they'll be with head coach Clarence McKinney. And I want to say something about McKinney. If you feel like your name was being drugged, you thought I was trying to talk bad about you. No. But if your season goes the way that it's gonna go, if it goes the way that it's not supposed to go, then my pettiness is gonna go to.
So I'm saving myself, and it definitely wasn't intentional, which is that I said that, I had Texas Southern as number 5 on our little poll. And I thought that Texas Southern, if they built, which I think is a very viable question, is, have you built your team around your quarterback? You've had him the ability to have a stable quarterback for the past 3 years. Have you built your your team around your quarterback?
Right. I think he did. I think he has. I think he answered a lot of questions pertaining to the receivers that they brought in. And of course, they're going to have running backs to come in that's going to carry the ball, and they could get 600 to 700 yards for the season. And also with him being a catalyst in the run game, he could get like 400 to 500 yards, cut down on his turnovers, and try to get more deep shots down the field, throwing the ball. I think it should be a very good season for an offensive season for Texas Southern. But the thing we always talked about, Mr. Ford, we always talked about this, is always going to be their defense. They gave up.
Defense wins games.
The defense wins championships. And if you have not seen Ryan Davis roast the dog mess out of Kevin Durant in a, what was it, an Instagram post? Or it was somebody. It was on a YouTube post, whatever. We'll serve that up to you. But it's always going to be defense. Your defense got to stop. Your defense got to make plays. We know your defense can make plays. We know your defensive backfield can make plays. They led the conference in interceptions with 17. But
who led?
Texas Southern.
Who had 17 interceptions?
Texas Southern.
Set Mr. Walker, Net, dropping that T in the chat.
You in Houston,
He said, "What? We not gonna repeat it. Can you just put it up there though?" I don't want to say it. I didn't say it. I'm just saying. Mr. EA, I do not have any ill wishes for the Rattlers. I don't. I do not. I absolutely don't. I just want FAMU to lose against Jackson State. And I think that they're going to lose against Valley. I think they're going to lose against Southern. I don't have any ill wishes, though. So do you think that's one of the reasons why Jackson State was so successful is the defense?
Yo, as always, it was going to be the defense. The defense was number one.
Especially, I think so, because if you have a very good defense, then obviously you're going to have more ball stops, which puts the ball in the hands of the offense more, which means the offense has more attempts.
Yep. So my thing about this thing, we gonna go back to Texas Southern. So my whole thing with Texas Southern is that the defense getting pressure to the quarterback. They didn't put enough pressure on the quarterback. But like I said, their defensive backfield was very opportunistic. They lived by the pick and they died by the pick. So so my whole thing is, can they put all that stuff together? Can they, put that good ingredients in with their roux and make a good gumbo and get it all.
Oh, look at you talk about roux. What you know about cooking up some gumbo?
Let's see. My great uncle is from South Texas and my grandma was from Louisiana on my dad's side.
Well, Mr. Coach Green says that Texas Southern has a new defensive coordinator and he's a familiar name.
Yeah, every time is a familiar name, but my whole thing is with the defense that you're gonna run, is it gonna be better than the defense that they was running before?
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be funny, but is it going to be better than the defense that you were run before? Are you going to get more pressure to the quarterback? Are you going to be able to stop the run? Because see, out of the defense that they line up in, it's a 3-3-5 stack. So basically, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 DBs. You said
that's what they were running?
That's what they're going to run again.
You think they're going to run the same play?
They're going to run the same defense, but I think it's more attack to get to the ball carrier, to be disruptive. The defense last season wasn't as disruptive than what you would think in previous years. My whole thing is got to get to the quarterback because you got to get sacks. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to stop the run. That was the main thing. And then to me, I feel like you need to kind of have shift from like a 3-3 to a 4-3 to a 3-4, 4-2-5. Like you got to kind of do some shifting. You got to bring multiple fronts,
right?
Different teams. So like if you're playing, it's Texas Southern's playing Alcorn, right? And don't get me wrong, Alcorn, they beat Alcorn last season at the reservation, but they was running that 33 stack defense, and Jarvion Howard still had over 100 yards in that game. The whole thing about it is you got to be able to stop. Can you get penetration in the backfield? That's the main thing that I'm asking. Like as far as with the defense goes for Texas Southern, can you get stops in the backfield? Because if you can't get stops in the backfield, those running backs, especially in the West is more run heavy than what you see in the East. The East, we pass happy. We try to be flashy, flying flashy with it. But in the West, it's like you got to get down and dirty. Can you stop the run? Is the question for Texas Southern. So if you get,
well, if it's the run, then they're gonna have to change their defense, which means even though that's what they usually run with the 5 DBs, you're gonna have to get the trenches closed up.
Right. And see, that's that's what I'm saying. Like,
maybe do what? 4-3-4.
So and then
4-3-4 will do it like for
right.
on the line, 3 linebackers, or maybe you might have a
4-2-5.
No, why do you have to have all those DBs? It just
most of the time, because in majority of the times, a lot of teams run spread.
I know, but some of those I'm definitely not trying to diss anybody.
No,
but if you can catch a lot of the SWAC quarterbacks slipping, meaning you can get them off their square by blitzing them, they are not accurate passers when they are attacked with the blitz. They're just not accurate. So why would you have to put that many DBs out there? Like you need to,
because like I said, most teams run spread. And you just have to be ready for it. You just have to be ready for whenever they pass the ball. Like, let's just say, how you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good.
Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, Mitzi Mona, how you doing?
Good.
All right.
Glad that you're on here because we need to get you. We need to get your questions now. For SWAC Media Day, it's real. We're gonna go see the commissioner, Mr. Ford.
Oh yeah.
So my thing is, Adrian said the linebackers are the strongest core for Texas Southern, but if you only run a 3-down lineman, they can't really flow to the ball. They can't flow in the gaps. So I think you add an extra lineman, or you could add an extra linebacker to help on the defensive line. You don't have to put his hand on the ground. He can stand up and apply pressure. Then it's easier for those linebackers to just straight flow to the ball. Plus, you could also use that extra DB in that DB backfield, especially like a safety. Like,
do they have some good DBs on Texas Southern's roster?
Well, one went so the best 2 DBs, they left. So one is at University of Houston, the other one graduated, if I'm not mistaken. But they do have DBs that they can cover, and they are ball hogs. So I mean, and they did take the best rushing attack. Best rushing attack was Alcorn last year because they had the best running back. I mean, by far. But I'm just like, just got to flow to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Miss Kim, we did get it. We appreciate you, Miss Kim.
Oh no, can you look at your Cash App and make sure they can read it out?
Kim, thank you for the $15, and Miss Keisha, thank you for the $25. So I think you sent it through PayPal. I think you sent it through PayPal. So.
One of them sent it through Venmo, and the other one sent it through PayPal.
Okay, that's cool. So, but I just want to see how. I want to ask that question for Texas Southern. I want to ask the question for Alcorn with Jarvion. What is he going to? Does he think he has the chance to actually go for 2,000 yards? Because that's his goal.
Well, he is. You know that he is on the Reese Senior Bowl's watch list.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they were just reiterating that announcement, but I saw a tweet today, and Jarvion Howard was on there. There was also a North Carolina Central offensive lineman. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, I read his name yesterday, and it was kind of confusing, but I know you're talking about.
I'll get his name. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing? I'm the Braves just lost. I was seeing how they were gonna throw away this game. So yeah. To speak to what Doc was saying about that 3-3-5, the thing that really makes it go is that you have to have big people on the front on that defensive line who will demand a double team so that the linebackers can fill the gaps. And like you said, Doc, one of the best things about it is that you can bring a DB down to play as a linebacker, or you can keep him as a third safety. The thing about that, like all defenses, the 3-3-5, you've got to have the material. And the most important thing is that your defensive linemen have to be dominant enough to demand a double team. Now, if the offensive linemen are bigger than the defensive linemen and just can overpower them, you in for a long night, because that 3-3-5 already has creases in it, which will allow a running back to run wild. That's what happened with TCU and the University of Georgia in that national championship game. Those defensive linemen were being taken out by individual offensive linemen. You can't have that in a 3-3-5. Those defensive linemen have to demand a double team. Now, as far as that Jarvion Howard guy y'all talking about from Alcorn, that guy's a pro. Yeah. Now, the thing that he's got to have help from, if you're going to run for 2,000 yards, you got to have serious offensive line play. Right. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've had some problems with Alcorn's offensive line. Personally, I don't think they've had an offensive line coach since Starcheck left the reservation. Yeah, like I said, now if they have the material down there, I look for them to have a great defense. But they got to have, the main thing is you got to have those stalwarts up front. If you ever notice about Alabama, because they don't run a 3-3-5, but they run what we would call a 50 front, or some people would call it a 3-4. You got to have dominant defensive linemen. You got it. That's what made Georgia so strong. Because like Doc said, Georgia jumps into a 3 front, they'll go 4 front, and they'll go 50. But the thing about Georgia is that the main thing is that all of that defensive linemen are dominant, and then he has so much depth. Because I think I told you the other day, Kirby Smart plays 25 to 30 players on defense. His guys are always fresh.
Yeah, and so he always, like teams like Bama and Georgia, they keep a fresh defensive line rotation. That's the reason
at all times. Yeah.
All time. That's the reason why State was so good on defense last year, because Dennis Thurman and Jeff Weeks kept that defensive line rotating. You probably have 12. You probably have like 10 guys rotate on that D line. That's the reason why you kind of really didn't see like how Devontae Davis or Jeremiah Williams, like their numbers didn't like really add up to it. But because on the road,
which one was Jeremiah 42?
Jeremiah Williams was 99.
Yeah. Okay. Now, which one of them kids was 42?
That's Jeremiah Brown.
Yeah. Now that's the kid who looked good the whole season until the last game. They played him out of position.
Right.
When they decimated that defensive line, because that kid, man, was something else. That 42. Now one was who was 32.
32. That's Jarente.
Oh, he was another one. He was explosive. Those were explosive athletes, man.
Those are, for that last game, Mr. Ford, basically the players that our former coach thought was going to go with him to Colorado, those are who he was trying to play.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mr. Allen, Fred Allen, for the $100 donation.
Yay!
Keep it coming. But like with Texas Southern, if you can get like if and Mrs. Ford, you know about this. If you like running a three-man front, you can't. Your defensive ends can't be 260 pounds. They got to
Right.
be at least 280, 290. Your nose guard has to be at least probably about a good 300, 305 because you're taking up space. You basically all you're doing is space. you're
Yeah. Well, the main thing, like I said, is if you're gonna run a three front, each defensive lineman must demand a double team. He can't allow a guard or a tackle to kick his behind. And see, that's what happened in that TCU Georgia game. Those offensive linemen, they didn't need a double team on them kids. They were so much bigger, and they just destroyed that defensive line. Once you destroy that defensive line, because see what the defensive line is supposed to do, they're supposed to build a wall, and then the linebackers and the DBs, especially the safeties, they're supposed to fill the gaps. They're the main tacklers. And if you don't have that, now that's what I'm saying about Texas Southern. The main thing is, do they have the material to run it? Because every defense demands different types of play. Now, if he got the defensive lineman up front and got that depth, they're gonna be all right.
Right.
They're gonna be all right.
So, but that's what we think about. That's what I know as far as what I feel like was going to happen with Texas Southern. Like, I think the defensive linemen are going to be bigger because, like you said, they got to take on double teams, especially.
Yeah, got to be able to demand a double team.
If you playing defensive end on a three-man front, that guard tackle blocking, you gotta be able to push them out the way because what it is that the linebackers are flowing to the ball. They're
Right.
the ball.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So then also what it happens too is that one of those safeties can come down as an extra linebacker.
Right. Oh yeah.
And when they come down as an extra linebacker, it's basically like now you have pretty much like a four-man front. So then if let's say so you got three men, there's two, the two ends are taking the guard tackle combo block, and the nose guard is right up on the center. So that means two linebackers are going to flow into the gaps, and then you have one more linebacker that's going to come in and pretty much kind of take away one of those blocking schemes as far as with the that guard tackle combo, and then you can have a DB come down here and act as another linebacker to attack the ball carrier or to get to the quarterback. So it's all like it's a whole bunch of schemes. Like if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you should remember Dom Capers was running the same thing when he was he was the head coach of Carolina. He was a heavy 3-4 guy.
Oh yeah, he was a defensive ace. Dom was a defensive ace.
What's going on, Uncle Sid?
Hey y'all. Hey, man, I'm just enjoying. Hey, Mr. Ford, how you doing,
Hey, how's
man?
it going down?
Man, everything's okay. Everything's okay. I've just listened to y'all talk football, and I just wanted to join in. When I was out there about 3 days. That was during my birthday week. I had a little business out there, and what they're running a 42. They run a 42 Rover is what they're running because
that's what Texas Southern is running. Yes,
sir. Because the linebacker coach played for Joe Lee Dunn, the inventor of the 42.
Was it at Mississippi State?
Yeah, he played.
What's his name?
Man, golly. And
you said the 42 Rover, you know what that remind me of? That remind me of back then in the early 90s when Texas State used to run that. Like Mike Dice used to run that so
yeah, you know, Joe Lee Dunn, he had a bunch of disciples, because he coached at Mississippi State and
what's the head coach's name?
He was
John Hendricks. He trained John Hendricks.
Yeah.
He because he coached at Memphis as well. So he had a bunch of disciples for that 42. They call it 42 Rover. is what they call it. And since the strength of their team, from what I've seen, Mr. Ford, it's the DB. It's the DBs. It's the DBs.
How big were they up front?
That's gonna be I think that's the deciding factor. They got a huge 3 technique though. I think he about 320. He about 320.
That's the best thing.
Is he quick off the ball?
He got quick hands. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was fighting through the bull rush too.
Okay.
He was fighting. But man, it's gonna be a speed type of defense, man. I don't know how that's gonna work against an Alcorn in their division, because Alcorn is gonna be very physical, and they're gonna keep run through those gaps. I mean, those gaps, though, that B gap, that C gap.
Yeah, because anytime it's a 3 front, you say it's a 3 front or 4 front?
It's a 4. It's a 4.
Okay, because 3 already has natural creases in it. It's easy. Really, when you do 3-3-5, it's kind of, if you got them overpowering offensive linemen, it's easy to beat that 3 front. It's easy to beat.
And you gonna see against a team, a run heavy team, 2 run heavy teams like PV and Alcorn, you're gonna need 4, and you're gonna need 4 in the trenches.
Don't forget
you're gonna have to have 4 in the trenches. You're gonna have to, because if you don't, go ahead. Go ahead now.
Don't forget about Grambling, because Grambling got a good, they got a loaded running back field. And don't forget Sutter too, because Sutter can run the ball.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. This year, Southern is RBU for the SWAC. They are.
What now?
Well, with Garrett Quarles.
They RBU. They are RBU this year.
You ain't just got Garrett Quarles. Like you still got Kobe Dillon. You got Carl Gunn.
You can stop right there. You can stop right there. Kobe Dillon, that's your guy.
Yep.
Kobe Dillon. I can't stand Southern, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Like Kobe Dillon is that guy. He is that guy. I mean, he's that guy. I mean, I was very impressed with him. But it's just gonna come down. It's gonna come down with them. It's gonna come down to the QB.
Yeah, I forgot about Sims too. Sims is in there too. Like,
Sims is good. Boy, I've seen him. He can play.
Sims is good.
Yeah, he can play.
Sims is good. He can play. But like I said, it's gonna come down to QB. I wasn't, I didn't have no blue and white glasses on, because I'm former rep, man. So I just like looking at talent at each school, But the QB is I don't know, Mr. Blood. It's going.
But they got about 8 of them, right? Did you see the other 8 or the other 7?
8 what? Quarterbacks?
The best one to me, not being biased, the best one to me was that incoming freshman.
The one from Georgia, the one from Baton Rouge.
The one from, I guess he's from Georgia, because he said
that's the one from the private school. Yeah. I know the kid you're talking about.
He's the best one.
He came out of Woodward Academy.
Yeah, he was my favorite. He can sling it. He got good wheels, and he has a great pocket awareness. He knows how to. Cause see, another thing when I was referencing what we look for is, I'm gonna explain to you what we look for in a QB. A QB has 2 seconds to decipher. It's like a tick tick. You tick tick, and after that second tick, if they have already made their football move, then that's a QB. And if you all you got to do is go back to Shadur's tape. He always had tick tick, look down the field, don't look at his receivers, don't lead you on, but he has a football mind to calculate the play. this young man from I saw it in him. It seemed like he's gone, because he said he told me, he said, well, Mr. Walker, he played on Cam Newton's 7-on-7 in that little league there. He
Yeah,
said
that's a
he
kid.
played. Yeah, he played like quarterback country. So when he told me
Right.
that, I said, yeah, he's the future. Yeah, he's the future of he should be the future. He should be the future of Southern. But Big Atkins from PB, Doc, that offensive lineman, he is a dog. He is a dog. That boy squatting about 600. And he blows off the snap too. Because I love to see offensive linemen that know how to blow off the ball once the play is called and once the whistle is blown. Once he says hike or go or whatever, whatever QB language that they use, and it's like shot out of a cannon, but you're strong. Those make, real great offensive linemen. And he's one of them. Yeah. And now I wasn't impressed. With, I think I might get some drawback from what I'm about to say, but I wasn't too impressed with Southern's offensive line. I wasn't. Not for what coach trying to do. He just needs to figure out like his quarterback, because they were running, because they was in shorts and everything like that, but they was doing like different
What was the
versions.
average size of Southern's line?
Oh, they big now. But
Are we talking about an average 6'5", 6'4", about 300?
No, about 6'3", 300. Yeah, about 6'3", 6'3", 6'4".
They some bowling balls. They don't never. Let's see. That's the thing.
They some bowling balls.
Yeah, because Southern they never recruit linemen over 6'4", 6'5".
Like,
but the only thing is they, like Coach Ford just said, Mr. Ford just said, man, they got a gang of quarterbacks. I mean, they got a gang of them. I mean, I don't know how they gonna, remain. Probably some of them probably get gray shirted. Some of them probably have to use grants or something like that. But like I said, that young man
quarterbacks is insane. 8 quarterbacks is crazy.
It's a lot. But I see what Coach Dooley.
Can they be wide receivers too? Some quarterbacks are.
The guy, the most athletic guy to me was the young man, the incoming fresh from Baton Rouge. He was very athletic.
That's what they said. Yeah,
he very athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna give credit where credit due. Like he was a little old, like he was shot out of a cannon, because he runs his plays hard.
Mr. Mona, do you remember Steve Spurrier?
Steve who?
Steve Spurrier. Do you remember him?
Fun and gun.
He said you could never have enough quarterbacks. He would carry 10 quarterbacks.
He sure would.
And nobody didn't say nothing.
He sure would.
Trash talk for
Yeah.
He sure would. I mean,
Billy Joe told me that. He said that every team should have at least 6 to 7. That they should be carrying 6 to 7. Now, when I was in college, Tennessee State would have 9. They have 9 on the roster.
He was this is the third pick for the third pick for the first round in 1967.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Florida.
I don't know who that man is.
You don't know who that is? Hey, baby. He helped redefine the college game.
Yeah, he had a quarterback. He had a quarterback from Mississippi named Shane Matthews.
That's right. Played in the legendary game at the Legion Field. George Teague picked him off, I think, and returned it for a touchdown. The first SEC championship game.
Who wasn't George? That was Antonio Langham.
Antonio Langham, you're right. That's right. That was Antonio. Who went to the Cowboys?
George Teague went to the Cowboys. Langham went to the Browns.
To the Browns, that's right. You're right.
Because you remember that year they had 2 guys. They had Antonio Langham, and then they had Corey Mangum. Remember, Corey Mangum was from McGee, Mississippi. He was a former quarterback, All-State for McGee. and he actually could play DB, and he went to Alabama and played DB. That's actually Chris Mangum. You remember the guy from the Carolina Panthers, the tight end?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Corey's little brother. Yeah.
Well,
so.
you know, at that time, Steve Spurrier used to recruit Mississippi hard, and so did Alabama. Both of them stayed in Mississippi.
He had no other choice. Remember, because back then you had so much, especially coming from down in that coastal area. You know, that's where Shane came from.
Pascagoula. Where was Chris Jackson from? Because they was turning them out at that time
that's
too.
Gulfport.
That's right. There was a lot of boys. Moss Point too. Moss Point was turning out a lot of kids that were leaving the state. Yeah,
Moss Point produced on the basketball side. They had Laterio Green.
Yeah, and
that went to
Chris
Missouri. And then also they had that QB from Moss Point. They went to they had two of them. They had one last name Jackson, went to Georgia Tech. Remember him?
I know you.
Black quarterback. Yeah, he came from Moss Point, and then the other guy, the other QB played. Remember, he played at Auburn. So yeah, they back then the coast was really, they were really good back then.
Yes, they were.
Although I got some pettiness to talk about right here. So this is a pettiness between Coach Prime and Coach Brent Venables over at Oklahoma. And basically, I don't know what was like the whole banter was. It was basically, so Prime said, this is what Prime said. First off, to the gentleman from Oklahoma, it's Coach to you.
Oh.
Sanders said in response to Venables, there's a saying about glass houses. We had roster turnover the way we did because we had to. And that's true because he did it at both. He did it at Jackson State twice, and he's doing it at Colorado. So I'm put just like this. If Coach Venables wants to talk, let's talk. I wasn't the one handed a Ferrari. He already had multiple NFL linemen on the Oklahoma roster before arriving. Colorado didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher from the previous coaching staff. Oklahoma is one of the best programs in the sport. When was the last time they lost more than 2 games? Prime asked question. The Ferraris crashed and it's smoking.
Well, look, can you pull up that the Twitter? Because I was trying to look at the post that you just was talking about. No, the other one.
And then we're gonna do it.
I was trying to look. I can't look.
And Adrian Cook and Adrian Cook, that is true. You can simulate plays, sir, in shorts before fall camp. That's an NCAA rule, sir. You can simulate plays in shorts as long as you're in shorts and not in with helmet guards on. So yes, you can do play simulation prior to fall camp. That's not illegal.
When we got the most done, when we weren't hidden, when we just go shoulder pads and helmet, that's when we got our timing down.
So I guess
but see now before fall camp, now you can't do shoulder pads. You can only do t-shirt, shorts, helmet with helmet pads.
Oh yeah.
And you can do that. You can do play simulation prior to fall camp.
Yeah, that's when we did the most of our teaching.
Yeah.
When they were in shorts.
Adrian Crook, yes, sir. You're talking to a guy that's ref college football. So I know the rules, sir. Yes, you can do that. You can simulate plays. That's legal. And like Mr. Ford said, that's when you get your best regiment in anyway, because it's all simulation.
Timing down.
Yeah, you're getting your timing down. You get, you imagining the plays and all that stuff. So
See, when I was coaching, the belief was that offensive coach needed to be the head coach because offensive football was the hardest thing to put together. That's why when I was coaching, most of the head coaches, they were offensive coaches because offense at
What
that
about
time was
now?
seen as the hardest. Huh?
What about now? Doesn't defense win championships, Coach? Mr.
They
Ford?
do. They do. But I'm telling you, a lot of, now you take your guy, Ashley. Ashley really likes offensive coaches to be the head coach. Just look at his history. Look at the coaches he selected.
Willie.
Yeah.
Dooley.
Willie, Dooley, Prime. Because Prime
Yeah,
was offensive coordinator.
he's always like offensive coaches. But I'm telling you, when I was coaching, that's what I was just on high school level, but a lot of the top schools, they wanted the head coach to be offensive minded because they thought that was the hardest thing to put together.
Oh, it is. I mean, if you think about it, it is because you have way more plays and way more you have different formations.
Yeah.
See, on the offensive side of the ball, it's about play design.
Yeah.
And then it's also about play execution. But you can't have any play execution without play design.
Yeah.
So that's why most of the time that's the hardest thing from what I've seen. And they actually, when I used to be out there just watching them, practicing, man, probably 70% of the plays are, offensive set. Then of course, you're gonna get your defense in, and that's one reason why the defense, they always win most of the battles, even in fall camp, because the offense is basically, putting play design in, according to their personnel.
That is the reason I keep telling y'all, TC is gonna be better than Dion. Because all of that you just called out, TC can do that. Dion was not, I know he was offense coordinator at that high school, but he didn't have the offensive mind that TC had. That's why TC is going to be a better head coach at Jackson.
Amen. And that's just a great segue into our
Pettiness of the day.
petty minute of the show. Southern and Jackson State, we have this little tidbit between the two of us. But one of the things that I wanted to point out was the love, admiration, and just, how happy Southern was for Jason Brown to be offered. They were so excited. And now that tune has changed. So, I'm with receipts. So I'm just showing you some receipts here. Somebody posted, he's visiting on January 6th. Show him some love, Jags. Hit him up on his Twitter. And then another post.
Wow.
Hey, Jags, Jason Brown is coming in for a visit on January 6th to our beautiful school. Let's show he and his family some love in here. And the weekend of January 6th. Follow him on Twitter as well. He's currently in the group as of the day. Show up and show some love, Jags. He can bring us to that place we want to be next December. He's played versus some of the best competition college football can offer. Here are a few of his many highlights, in which it was the video, of course, at Florida and Auburn. One of the great Southern alums or Southern students says, we need to pull out the red carpet. Not the red carpet. Not for Jason Brown. And they were excited. And he said, he woke up today thinking about Southern.
Wow. Yeah, and that's basically what I was throwing out there, that it was out there in that space. And I was trying to tell Adrian that when he called himself trying to fight that, that nobody said that. And I'm like, I know what I read. I know what I was reading.
So here's my thing. It's kind of like when you see a girl and you're like, ooh, I want to go talk to her. I want to go talk to her. And you go and you say something to her and she kind of brushes you off. And you're like, you wasn't cute anyway. You wasn't even that cute. Forget you.
Yourself. They got to add the big head afterwards. And when you really get hurt, with your big head self.
Right. So that was how it was. They was trying to pull out the red carpet to how it is now. You know? Then all of a sudden it was all this other stuff. So I just thought I would share that with, you know, everybody on this beautiful live today to let y'all know that we know that y'all still feel that sting from Jason Brown committing to Jackson State. It'll be even greater when we go to Southern this year.
Oh yeah.
And another player I'm looking at as well is two guys. I saw them actually Alabama, you know, and I repeat, I don't think you were on, Mr. Ford, but I was telling them last night that Maynard has his quarterback.
Okay, is it the kid from Georgia State?
Quad Brown, that's him.
That's him. I figured it would be him when I heard that he was going, because he left Georgia State and went to, was it Tennessee Martin?
Yeah. UT Martin, yes sir.
UT, listen, he can play, man. I saw him at Georgia State. He's he's about 6'5". He can run and throw it.
Yeah, he kind of lanky. He has a build like he reminds me with his build, not his play, but his build. He reminds me of like a Randall Cunningham. He has like that.
Yeah, he's tall. He's tall.
Tall, slender build.
He can sling it too now.
Oh yeah, he can throw it all over the yard. And now I'm gonna tell you who's hungry this year though. And he was really, really mean when I was out there in Texas. And I got a chance to see about an hour. But that doggone Conley, man, he has a mean streak. I like him.
I like Conley too, man.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
I get to see my boy from
PV.
He's from PV, from Oak Cliff though.
But now Valley, when I saw them, they got a young man last name Sisk, and he's from DeSoto. And I was like, when I was talking to him, I was like, yeah, I got a nephew out there. Wait, man, and tell him about you, the show and all that stuff. But that's the next Valley great quarterback. He's an incoming freshman. His last name is Sis. I think his first name is
Jaden.
Jaden. That's it. Jaden. That's it. Yeah, Jaden.
He's staying. I think it's DeSoto, but he went to W.G. White High School, so that's North.
But that's the next. That's the next. Maybe he probably won't start this year because of experience, and I don't know if they'll redshirt him because from what I saw, he's a little bit too talented for them to redshirt. But he can go. He can go. It's just they're gonna have to, because they got this transfer big lineman that came in about a week ago or something like that.
We talked about
yeah, but I think they missing just a couple pieces on their line, playing together. But
offensive line or defensive line?
Offensive line. But if they can get that together and get that young man on the field at least by next year, you better watch out for Valley, because they got him one in him and he can play. All right. I mean, he doesn't look like a high school kid. He doesn't.
All right, so we gonna get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show.
Where Mr. Campbell at?
Yeah, where Mr. Campbell at? He ain't on here. He was on here earlier. He was talking his big noise on here earlier.
He came in here early. We hadn't even started the show yet.
So y'all already know FAMU has been in the news, and it's national news because ESPN picked it up. It's national. They've been in the news because they had a rapper named, what's his name? Boston Richie. He did a video inside of the locker room with FAMU gear on and had some of the players in this video. It was not authorized by the university or even by Coach Willie Simmons. And to get the news that we got the news last night, it was late. I think it was around about 9 or 10 or something like that.
It was like 10 something,
yeah.
10:30. It was a little bit late. when it came out.
So Coach Willie is basically trying to get himself prepared for media day, and to do this on the to do this a couple of days before media day come around. That says that whoever let the guy in, even though yes, he's known, Willie knows him and everything because he's from Tallahassee. He's from the same block as T-Pain. But for him to come into the locker room, which is pretty much a sacred thing, you got to understand, locker rooms are sacred. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever. Any sport, the locker room is sacred because that is your place to prepare yourself to go to battle against the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about this is Willie is upset. Willie upset.
He's not the only one now. Because I talked to some alums today up here. They hot too.
Willie's upset. Dr. Larry Robinson, who is the president of FAMU, he's upset. And just like Mr. Ford said, some of the alums
hot. They 38 hot, baby.
So the thing about it is Willie said, okay, you know what? We're suspending football activities
right
until we get to the bottom of this.
I mean, let's just keep it a buck, though. All football activities are suspended as of right now because
in which he did.
We are in between summer school ending and fall camp. So there's a little bit of a dead period right here. So here's the thing. Coaches and players are at home with their families, getting ready for fall camp, which will start next week. A lot of the campuses still have facilities open for players to do their workouts, have access to gym equipment, because some students don't necessarily go home. Some of them stay on campus. So can you pull up the letter?
Right. So let me get this right here before we get to the letter. Mr. Haynes, we understand that no NCAA rules were broken, but guess what? It doesn't matter because the simple fact that you're misrepresenting the brand. Like, it's always about the brand.
But the key word was what you said earlier. It was unauthorized.
It was unauthorized.
That's the key word.
It was unauthorized. So if he didn't get it, all he had to do is go ask Coach Simmons, go ask the AD Sykes, go ask even the president to just the video.
Because I get the blitz part, but it's just not. It would have had to have been a seriously redacted version placed on the internet for it to even potentially be some type of video that could have been recorded. Like, it would have had to seriously been redacted. Mm-hmm. It's not a good song in any sense of the world. It just says something about a blitz. Now, playing devil's advocate here. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the Gritty. It's probably one of the most popular dances / songs that came out in the past year. And when I say in all different households of all different creeds and colors, they were all like John Morant really honed in on doing the Gritty. But if you guys actually listen to the lyrics of the Gritty, it's literally talking about murdering somebody. I'm talking about old grandpas, great grandpas, coaches from PWIs, and they're doing the Gritty. And that video, I mean, the lyrics of that video is literally talking about murder. So for me, I can understand FAMU's outrage, and I can understand the misrepresentation of the brand. What I don't like is mass media taking an opportunity to highlight these types of stories. And then when it's football season, they're quiet and mute about the SWAC and what's going on in the SWAC, or they're quiet about FAMU's accomplishments with Isaiah Land and Marquise Bell. So this has become a debacle, and it's gotten way out of hand, like way above what it should be. This particular press release was released not even maybe 1 or 2 hours after the video was released, which for PR, that is excellent timing. For somebody to be able to draft this type of letter in such a short amount of time, and it basically addresses the situation, and it also has the immediate course of action that was being taken. This was probably the perfect type of PR letter, bar none, probably the best in the HBCU realm that I've seen. Whenever there's like some sort of debacle that happens, this particular letter, I'm a marketing major, but I also have like PR work. This is probably one of the best PR letters that I've seen, and just the timing that they let it out.
So I mean, well, it's not as you. First of all, you got to try to save face, because the thing about it is, when media day comes, you don't want this to be the main topic for media day.
Well, I would hope that our HBCC media SWAC Media Day is something we can control. So I would hope that HBCU podcasters and the media as HBCU, I would hope that they would be respectful enough to know that this particular story is not conducive for SWAC Media Day, and that it shouldn't hold any place in any types of conversations or recordings trying to get sound bites. Like, I think that would be kind of disrespectful for HBCUs to highlight on it when there are so many other outlets that are covering the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But this is what, like I said, if you haven't read it, this is what Willie, they put out there as far as.
I'll read it real quick.
Yeah, you go ahead and read it.
Earlier today, it was brought to my attention that a rap video was shot by a prominent rapper in the football locker room of Gallimore Powell House without proper authorization. The video contained graphic language that is not consistent with Florida A&M's core values, principles, and beliefs, and an internal investigation is underway to determine who authorized the use of not only the athletic facility at Gallimore Powell, but also licensed apparel that potentially violates university branding and licensing agreements. Although I am a proud proponent of free speech and support all forms of musical expressions, this football team, as ambassadors of Florida A&M University, has a responsibility to protect the university's image. As a result of this unfortunate situation, as head football coach, I am effectively suspending all football-related activities until further notice. Yeah. It is a privilege to wear the orange and green, and as a football program, our young men have failed to live up to this standard set before us. They will all learn from this mishap, and we will continue to work hard every day to become the best versions of ourselves and continue to make Rattler Nation proud.
I say it like this. That letter right there by Coach Simmons is the best thing that I've seen. And here's the thing too. This has been almost a year, right? FAMU has been in the news more for negative press than for what's positive out there. Because you got to understand, remember, you had the quote unquote snake lady, when she got heated because she didn't get her diploma, her degree, because of the fact that you want to pose nude in front of the statue on campus. And what was the outcome? Like, you got your degree, you walked across the stage, but why do that? Because you feel like you want to show off your, off your sexuality. That's cool. Do that in private. Don't do it at the university. You know what I'm saying? And the second thing was the certification issue, when you had almost 30 players that were declared ineligible before the first game of the season. And now, also another thing, a lot of people was talking about, you backed out of where you leaving out of the Orange Blossom Classic. And the last thing is this issue with the rap video, the unauthorized rap video inside of the locker room. Like, you got too much negative. It's too much negative. You got to you got to get positive. You got to put out more positive. Now you got to ramp up your positivity.
Well, there is some positivity. It just didn't go viral. Isaiah Land just was with, I want to say, Nate Newton. He was doing an interview in the Cowboy locker room, or right outside the Cowboy facilities. And he was talking about Bob Hayes and Nate Newton. And then lo and behold, Nate Newton walks up during the interview. Yep. Very positive. Did not go viral. So it's kind of like Marquise Bell and him getting on the Cowboys roster. And then when he was playing, I know in preseason, he got an interception, I want to say last season. Was it last season?
Yeah, in preseason.
Yeah. So there are things that I think FAMU, either they're getting a new dorm and they just opened up a new dorm. There's a lot of things that are positive. It's just what media hones in on. But the amount of people that I saw honing in on this story, I was just like, okay, y'all are dragging it. And you know what it is? It's because Black Twitter and HBCU engagement is through the roof.
Yep. So
we were just talking about it amongst ourselves, and it was picking up steam. And then it just blew way out of proportion because folks started commenting on it, but they're commenting on it because of the amount of impressions that not just HBCU, but Black culture. It's really big in social media. So then you had the New York Post making a story. I was like, okay, y'all are dragging it now. ESPN, On 3 Sports.
Yeah, ESPN. Because that was the first thing I heard was ESPN getting a hold of the story, and then I seen Yard Talk. She was like, "That's the reason why we need to move away from ESPN."
I don't think so. Those are two different entities. That's the social media side. Like, that has nothing to do with it.
And ESPN is the only thing ESPN is doing is doing their job. So I don't.
Oh my gosh. But I will say this: a lot of these news, like stuff that's in the news, it usually dies down at about, if it's a really big story, it usually dies down at about 7 days. For this story, I don't anticipate it unless like people keep commenting on it. I don't anticipate that it should last longer than 48 hours, maybe to 72 hours. The Northwestern debacle where there was sexual assault.
That was.
And literally
a week.
Yeah, but nobody's talking about it now. They fired the coach. Nobody's talking about it. They only fired the coach, which the AD I think should have resigned. There should have been more heads. Should
They also fired the baseball coach too.
Yeah, and then
Oh, they
you
did?
also, and
Yeah,
then
they
you
fired the baseball
also
coach.
got, so throughout all this time, you got the was that the president for Texas A&M. She resigned because of the hiring of I think it was a black journalist to the school.
Yeah, they were saying that see, this is what happens. So they did away with affirmative action, and now they're claiming if you hire a black person, you're being too woke. You're being woke. So that's why getting rid of affirmative action was never going to negate certain people's feelings that you don't belong in their spaces. She didn't last a month, did she? I don't want to say she was there 3 weeks. She just got the job, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, they hired a black woman! Wow!" And they undermined her in less than a month. But they knew better. Come on, you can't
see, and that's the Good Old Boys network right there for A&M, Texas A&M, University of Texas. That's a Good Old Boys network.
That's where she graduated from too.
Mm-hmm. Then you got, and then other news, you got Ron DeSantis with the idiocy of saying slavery benefited the slaves. I'm like, what the hell is you talking about? We were, and my whole thing, people said, well, it did teach us how to be blacksmiths and stuff like that. No, we were forced to do jobs that we didn't want to do to help you, to help benefit you. This doesn't help benefit me. This help benefit you. This help benefit a whole nother race to keep y'all, you know what I'm saying, to keep y'all above everybody else. I don't, you know what? I was reading that and I got upset, and I was like, you know what? I really don't feel like cursing at Twitter right now, but I don't know. It's crazy. And then he's sending on Twitter, he's sending me ads talking about you should come vote for me. And I'll damn near I'm about to block him. I don't care about you. You're like,
but how do you think this is gonna so we see all these negative things that are happening in the media, but of course they chose to focus on FAMU. So how do you think this is going to affect the season? Because we don't need any self-inflicted types of. Mr. Ford, did they say they wanted those players off the team?
No, basically what they're saying, like you said earlier, it's a 48-hour cycle. They said that what FAM has to do Monday morning at 9:00, reveal the findings of the investigation. If any of the paid personnel or the people working for FAM were involved, they should be fired. Any of those players should have a suspension.
Right.
And when you say suspension, you mean suspension from the first game, Mr. Ford?
Well, I didn't ask, but they basically were saying that's up to the school, whatever they decide.
And here's the thing, too. Another thing that we need to stop doing, other black publications, we need to stop doing. We need to stop sensationalizing and talking about what I was reading is saying that player scholarships were in jeopardy. No, it's not.
That was by a black media outlet too, right. Or someone that's purporting to be a black media outlet.
Let's stop that narrative. If it was players, those scholarships not going to be affected. Basically, what's going to happen is Willie going to get on their head. He going to make them run gas. He going to get them. He going to get them the way that he wants to get them.
Right, and I think that it's being blown out of proportion in the sense that, okay, so this is the thing. They're saying that it was actually something that could make them lose their licensing.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
That's why it's such a big thing.
That's true.
So this is one thing that I can compliment Coach Prime for. And some people were kind of like, he's always doing that. And he was always filming it. But you notice that Coach Prime on a regular basis, like, jammed it into these kids' heads. Don't let a moment of satisfaction ruin your lifetime. Don't make stupid decisions. He also had like media training, knowing what to do and what to not do on social media, as far as like cussing and using the N-word and getting NIL deals and you being marketable. So for me, I think that along with doing suicides and gases and doing stadiums, which they were in strength and conditioning, so that's stuff that they were doing anyway, but doing more of it, I think that a lesson, of course, that needs to be done, aside from saying you're suspended, is to do media training, hone in on the importance of making sure you not only FAMU's brand, this is your brand too. You are a football player and you are a representative of FAMU, but you're also representing yourself. And if you think that somebody's going to give you an NIL deal and you're over here, and this is the type of vulgar music that's in the back of the videos that you're in, it's like, why would we give you an NIL deal? This isn't representative of our company. So
that's the question right there. That's what I like right here. Who gave him access into the locker room? That is,
so I think me personally, I don't want to name any names because I don't know any names, but I think that lower level folks knew that they probably didn't know the disgustingness of the video, and they probably didn't clear the video. But if Boston Richie says, hey, I just want to chill with your folks in the football in the locker room and chill out or whatever, Boston Richie is not new to FAMU. He's been there several times.
He performed at homecoming last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he let them out. He let them out.
Right. So he has a relationship
with
them. It's just, what are you thinking? Why are you doing that type of music? And another point before I finish speaking is this. Coach Prime literally had Young Dolph, Fredo Bang, Snoop Dogg. Like, I can't
even. Key Glock. He had
there's Frankie or something like that. There's another rapper.
What about Rick Ross? Didn't he come down there?
Rick Ross.
Snoop Dogg. I mean, they had Snoop Dogg, Jackson. They had Young Dolph. They had the Key Glock. They had Lil Boosie. They had it was one more.
Yella Beezy.
Remember Lil Boosie said he was going to enroll, didn't he?
Boosie.
Yeah, he did.
So this is what
we did have Rick. We did have Rick Ross there,
and we did have. So this is what I'm saying. All of these rappers that were around Jackson State football team in the locker room, all of them have trashy, disgusting, misogynistic type of music. The difference between Jackson State and FAMU is Jackson State knows, okay, he's going to protect the band of Jackson State, but also the football team. So they were they were having those types of like dancing and doing the music video. They were doing that type of stuff in the locker room. It just didn't make it out into public. And what did make out the public was heavily censored. There's a video of Shador and the team and Young Dolph, and they were actually doing the song They Don't Want You to Live, They Don't Want You to Ball. That song?
100 shots.
Yeah, 100 shots. Now, 100 shots is basically talking about when Young Dolph was in Charlotte, North Carolina at CIAA. They basically shot up his vehicle.
He shot up.
He had a bulletproof truck, but they shot it up 100 times. So that's what that song 100 Shots is about. So the fact of the matter is that actual piece that happened in the locker room, that actually made it to the public platform for people to see, but it was Like if there was cuss words, it was redacted. That's not a nice song. But basically what I'm saying is I don't feel like there's anything wrong with rappers going into the locker room, meeting up with kids. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is put out publicly and portrayed publicly can affect the brand.
Right. The one thing I'm gonna say about this is that what I say about this is the fact that those rappers we named that was at Jackson State the last 2 years when Coach Brown was there, and even with Duke Deuce came in for the world tour with Under Armour because he's sponsored by Under Armour. They all had authorization from the university. That is the biggest difference between Jackson State and FAMU. That is the difference.
Did they have authorization? When you say authorization, do you mean authorization from Coach Prime?
Authorization from Coach Prime. Authorization.
Do you think they asked the president do you think they asked President Hudson, can we bring young Dolph into our locker room? I doubt that very seriously.
President Hudson is my age. Of course.
No, I'm saying I don't think they asked President Hudson like, hey, we're thinking about bringing young Dolph here. I doubt
I've known some presidents when Dr. Lyons was there. Who I listen, he used to ride on campus. Some of the music
I don't think that Prime had authorization to bring young Dolph into the thing, but then maybe so.
But it's still the whole thing about it is this. In some sort of fashion, even if it didn't go through with the president, the athletic director has final say on anything that has something to do with, like at the stadium or something like that. You go to AD Robinson. All Prime had to do is just ask Ashley and say, hey, can we bring such and such? Can we bring such and such up in the locker room? Can we bring such and such on the field? Can we do this? Can we do that? It was a collaboration right there. What I'm saying is it was authorized. It was thought out. It was planned. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
With this situation, this was not planned. And whoever brought the people, whoever brought him in there to go into the locker room.
Do you think that it was authorized by somebody? Because do you think that somebody at the higher ups knew something?
No, because that's the reason why President Robinson is pissed. He didn't know nothing about it. Because it's actually happening on campus.
Yeah. I mean, and really anything on campus, it has to be on or off campus. You know, when you actually have students involved, you have to have some type of authorization. You know, and just with my little 2 cents on it, I just think it's bad, you know, for HBCUs just in general. You know, I even commented, you know, on Twitter, you know, that I really feel bad for FAMU. Although, you know, it's all noise talk and, you know, all this other, you know, shenanigans that goes along with it. But it's really not a good look. And then from, you know, what the young man was rapping about, he didn't even have the decency to even make a clean version of what he was saying. And that's what really, because if you take notice to what Jackson State has done as far as those music, I just saw a snippet of the little guard the yard thing today, and the dude was a, you know, graduate of Jackson, and he actually stated that he went through, you know, the proper channels. So, you know, I said that to say this, you know, I can't compare what I heard from FAMU to a song that, you know, last year when JSU had the, you know, what was the guy that does the dance song? What's his name?
Which one?
The dance song, Cupid.
Okay.
Cupid. Yeah, you know, when they made that song. So, you know, I just hate it for FAMU as a whole. You know, it's not a good look. You know, I know we joke and talk noise, but just for the HBCU space in general, that wasn't a good look. you know, and especially, and not no knock to the young man rapping, because, you know, I have a 17-year-old son, and half the stuff he listened to, you know, I always tell him, I said, can these young men, I always ask him, I said, can these young men read and write? Is that a requirement? You know, because no, I say that to my own son, you know, like, because he listened to those, I've never heard of him listening to the
Boston
Richie. I've never heard of him, but, you know, I've heard of the young, what is it? The young boy and the little boy.
No,
yeah, the little boy. Yeah, him. Yeah, all of them too. Yeah, them too.
NBA young boy.
Yeah, because he loves that young boy guy. And I always ask him. I said, man, I asked my son. I said, son, if we had to do a test right now, do you think this young man can pass that test? He was like, but I just love his music, Dad. And I said, okay, you know, so I get it, but, you know, I just think it was very inappropriate. And, you know, because you got to think a lot of this stuff, you have to understand, you know, they could get hit with censorship fines, you know, advertising, because they actually had on Nike apparel. So you got to get stuff like that cleared.
Yeah, so
because if you think about it, that can be looked upon as, you know, the Florida A&M Nike commercial. You know, he had a helmet on. You don't supposed to advertise that type of stuff without the proper clearance. So, but I am kind of glad that, you know, hopefully it'll turn out to where they kind of sweep it under the rug. I hope.
Right.
But it gets real when it's on ESPN though.
Right.
Hey, bro, they can't sweep it under the rug. Somebody got to be fired. When I was talking to people today, the older of blacks, probably in the 50s and 60s, college campuses was safe.
Mr. Ford, you keep breaking up, Mr. Ford.
They did, and on top of that, you know,
you was
can you hear me?
Can you start over where you said that the 50s?
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying that today. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I was saying was the people that I talked to today from Florida A&M, the older they were, the more incensed they were, because you have to understand that for many generations of black college campus in the black community, that was sacred ground. That was like going into a church. You know how you don't act like you act in the streets. You know, when you go into a church, you clean yourself up, you get yourself together. But that's how a lot of people view the black college campus. It's sacred ground. And then on top of that, what's the guy's name? He's Dr. Umar Johnson.
Johnson.
Are you familiar with this guy I'm talking about, Umar Johnson?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, Doctor. Yes, I think his name is Dr. Umar Johnson. Have you heard him?
Yes, yes, sir. He's out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, see, what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying is that there is a movement to make the black image of the black man, black woman, and black child as terrible as possible. In other words, to destroy the black image, the image of black men, black women, black children. And so when you look at that video, that was, to me, it was self-destructive. I mean, the things, I didn't know this guy, I'd never heard of him. But Mr. Mona, I did listen to the words. It was awful. Mm-hmm. And then I did a little research on him. And one of the things they've talked about him was that in a previous song, he glorified incest. So for those people who say that, you know, why everybody tripping, I don't know what to say. If you don't understand what them guys did in that field house, if you don't understand that, I ain't nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I mean that.
So what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen, Mr. Ford? Like, what do you think should happen?
Yeah, like I said, now what the FAMU people up here want, they want a press conference Friday. I mean, I'm sorry, not Friday. Monday morning, 9 o'clock, they want a press conference. They want the investigation to disclose how did this happen? How did he get access? What has been done to the people who gave him access? And what has been done to the players who were involved? What's going to be done to make sure this never happens again? That's what I was told today. They want this dealt with immediately.
Oh wow. Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
like I said, the older they were today, the more pissed off they were.
When the older alumni say something, you already know what's up. Like
there was at least 15
true.
players, at least a minimum of 15 players in that video. So when we talk about self-inflicted and bad timing, like this could not be at a more worse time to possibly suspend some students that they miss their first game, and this first game is their biggest game of the season.
Well, yeah. To comment on with EA saying he said that this crap been going on for years with rap music, and we acting like this is shocking. No, it's not that we're acting like it's shocking. The thing about it is, it was done in the most inappropriate space.
Yeah,
it was done with bad character, and it was also done because you can actually, so you got to think now, you have to think like a business, someone like a business mind. I mean, think about it this way. You know, you have rules and regulations, but at the end of the day, I mean, those are major brands that are involved. I mean, this is a pilot school for an HBCU that is the first to wear the LeBron James cleat. They're the first. They're the pilot school for that. So that says a lot. You know, that's just like saying, okay, we the first school since Reconstruction to represent a major brand like that. So no, it's not anything that we got to look over. And I understand what you're saying, EA, because it is true. You know, the rap music and stuff like that, it does go on because that is a part of, you know, I call them young blood, the young bloods, you know, culture, which is part of our culture. But the thing about it was because it was done in such poor taste.
Right. And then I like that Brandy pointed out, like, Black colleges and universities don't necessarily need rappers to be performing at halftime or performing. Like, our bands are enough for our like entertainment and stuff like that. But Mr. Walker, what do you think that they should do in response to this? It's kind of like with the Northwestern situation where it was an absolutely disgusting debacle. There's allegations of sexual assault, abuse, racism. They fired the head coach of the football team, and they said that they fired the baseball coach. So that means that those were basically the proverbial sacrificial lambs for this debacle. Yes, and it's went away. Like, they're not really talking about it, even though Moorhead should have rolled. In my opinion, the AD should be fired and a whole bunch of other people. So for me, lower level staff is going to have to be fired, whether it's like operations over apparel or whoever's over like the who's ever over the helmets and the apparel, because they would have had to have keys to get the helmets, right?
Right.
Go in there and get, so they'll have to fire somebody like that. But Coach has already lost two coaches right before the first game of the season.
Well, that happened last year too. That happened last year.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, of course, pretty much a lot of people know what I do in corporate America. That's one of those calls that when we going into the room, you have to make those calls. There's going to be some termination, and I hate that. I really hate it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let me explain myself. I hate it because, number one, I hate it when our people lose jobs. Number one. Number two is I always hold us to our culture to higher standards, because the HBCU space, in my mind and in my heart, most of all, is a very powerful space to come from.
Right.
So Ms. Timona, to answer your question, there's going to be some terminations, and then also what I'm hoping for, I'm really hoping that LeBron's team don't retract that because all those contracts, they're year to year, but they're also at will, because you when they sponsor you, you're really like an employee of that company. So that those are some of the tangible things that I can see happening. And because it's just a look.
The only thing that I don't like about that is the over policing, the respectability politics that are attached to when Black people make mistakes, or when something happens in the Black community, is this over policing of Black bodies. And what I mean by that is that something that these students are doing, you can go on to some of the PWIs, and they have like Gucci Man in the song, Gucci Man in the background talking about cocaine, and they're dancing. Or like I just pointed out, the Gritty, which basically is a song about murdering somebody, and they're over there doing the Gritty and having fun. So that's the only thing that I don't like, is the over policing of Black bodies.
That's American history. The Black community is always going to be over policed. You're going to always have more policemen in the Black community. That's a part of American history.
When I say that, I mean like for instance, I'll give you an example. Stop and frisk is an example of, or the laws against people sagging their pants or something like that, making it to where you're criminalizing a young man sagging his pants. So it depends on what type of school it is. You can have young men wearing dresses, but a Black male having his pants hanging down, they'll criminalize him to the point where he'll get a ticket for it. And then if you don't take the ticket, then this will happen. So that's my thing is.
Right. But see, go back. If you go back to Stop and Frisk, go back to Say No to Drugs. Say No to Drugs was a police attack on the Black community.
Yeah.
The Stop and Frisk, that was an attack on the Black community. That started with the first guy was named Ed Koch. He was the mayor of New York. Yeah. From Ed Koch, it went to Giuliani. From Giuliani, it went to Michael Bloomberg. Mm-hmm. All that was an attack on Black America. Now, what happened was, I don't know if you remember this guy, James Blake. He was a tennis star. Do y'all remember him?
I remember. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, James
you remember
Blake,
the policeman? He was standing in front of the Hilton, was it the Hilton? He was standing in front of, and the police came up and just attacked him. Well, that was a part of Stop and Frisk. They ended up having to give him $1 million because the guy just jumped on him because he was young and Black. Mm-hmm. But they've always done that to us. So that's a part of our reality in America.
So here's my thing about the sagging part. It's already criminalized because of the simple fact that if you think about sagging is a prison. It's a prison fashion. It was basically, if you're a sagging, that means that you was easy access. If you ever watched the Boondocks, this episode is called The Booty Warrior. And
Police Johnson.
Yes, Police Johnson.
Police Johnson.
The whole premise of that episode was based off of Police Johnson. They interviewed him on it was Lockdown, right? It was it was Lockdown. It was on MSNBC. So that was his whole thing. He said if you was sagging, he gonna get you.
Right.
So that it was easy access. And so the reason why I'm not even gonna say it because I even tell my nephews, I told my brother, like, hey man, on the real, you can't go out there sagging. Like that's like even my uncles used to tell us like that's a prison mentality. That means that you basically you free booted.
And
Right.
Chris
Yeah.
actually did not reduce crime in New York.
No, it didn't. It was an attack on black, especially young blacks.
Black and brown.
Yeah, black and brown. That's what it was. Like I said, it started with Ed Koch. From Ed Koch, it went to Giuliani. Giuliani did it. From Giuliani, it went to Michael Bloomberg. But yeah, it didn't reduce the crime. But it was an attack on young black men.
So here's the thing. I want roll shots. I want you to understand. I think Zordan Master put this. What does that have to do with people? If people want to sag or not? It's the simple fact that it is inappropriate. I'm a grown ass man. I don't want to see another grown man underwear if you still got shit stains and stuff on your underwear. I'm gonna talk bad about you.
That was my point. My point was basically this. There's young men that are and then that's where we get into political correctness, and we get into how what I was saying is that they criminalize and police Black men for doing certain things, and then you can wear a dress and you can identify as whatever you want, and you can do this, that, and the third. But when it comes to Black men, or even Black women, if they're very shapely, they can't wear certain types of things that, they might wear their jeans and they just thick, so it just fills it out. You can't do anything about it. So what I'm saying is this, because you guys are talking about people taking, like Nike taking away brand deals, which means I need to go and find, I didn't have time to do this, I can absolutely find some videos of PWIs doing the videos that they do for their recruits, where they're doing stuff in the gear and hopping around and they got the smoke going, and they absolutely have rap music in behind it, and the music that they're playing is absolutely not good music. Now, it's not as vulgar and brash and abrasive as what this young man was saying, but the premise is still the same. It's still misogynistic or murder, kill, gang type of stuff. And at these PWIs, they're utilizing these things to recruit these Black players. They have like gold chains and stuff and big boom boxes. We've seen them use it, cars. Where do you think they get this type of cultural appropriation from? They're getting it from Black culture, and they're using it to recruit our students to these schools.
Hold on, before you go, I'm gonna say something. So, what is the point that you're making? Because I don't understand the point. My whole point is sagging is my uncle used to say sagging is the F word. We can't even use it no more. Like, we can't even use it. That the F word is not even, we can't use it no more because we done got so sensitive about it. I don't even use it, but I know what it is. But the thing I'm making is that I don't want to see it. I'm a grown man. I'm 43 years old. I don't sag. I hate when I see dudes wear slim fit jeans and they sagging in them. I hate to see when they wear basketball shorts and they sagging in them. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see it. Adrian, it's lame as hell. I don't want to see it. Like, I even tell my stepson, don't go out this house with no damn without sag when you do sagging. Cause like my uncle there used, like, I tell him, get you a belt. Like, literally get you a belt. Don't go out the house sagging. You're not for sale. That's what it's called. You're not for sale. You're not in prison. This is nothing that you but I'm just saying this. But I'm gonna get to this with Nike. You was talking about Nike pulling contracts and stuff, pulling endorsement deals. Yeah, they done pulled Kyrie's. They pulled Kyrie's endorsement deal. They put John Morant's deal on hold. I feel like, in a sense, the Penn State debacle with Sandusky and all the stuff that he was doing, I feel like Nike should have pulled their ass out of there too. Like literally. Like to me, I would like Northwestern is Under Armour. I think Under Armour should pull a deal out from that because of stuff that's going on there. Like I could literally go on from days about who need to get their deal pulled because they doing some ignorant shit.
Right.
Like, come on now. Like, come on. I don't want to see. To me, it's wrong. I don't want to see FAMU get its brand deal pulled by Nike and LeBron. I don't want to see that. I want to see them flourish with their deal, with the brand, with you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that got coming to them. I don't want to see them get their stuff yanked up under the table from up under them. I don't want to see none of that. I want them to flourish because reason why, even though I am a Jackson State person through and through, I don't want to. I'm supporting all HBCUs to where if it's something that benefits us, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Right.
Like, people mad when we switched from Nike to Under Armour. Like I think that was the best deal that we ever did. Because we got more, I feel like we get more love with Under Armour than we had got with Nike.
I mean, Under Armour has definitely been a blessing, and they've definitely supported us even after Prime has left. I love Under Armour.
And so, you know, another thing I'm just want to get off my chest is that we got to stop trying to put negative context in the air. Like I said, with them talking about the scholarships are at risk, unless Willie Simmons or Dr. Larry Robinson or A.D. Sykes said anything about their scholarships being at risk, please.
Do you remember which outlet did that? Oh, I see it.
I forgot.
I got it. I'm gonna pull it up. Fake news, and that's actually scary. We don't actually know if this person that's behind this YouTube is actually a Black person. That's one thing. There's a lot of Twitter pages that report on Black culture, Black news, and behind them is somebody of a different type of ethnicity. So if this is Black Millionaires, it says historically Black college FAMU has suspended all football operations after rising Florida rapper Boston Richie filmed a music video in their locker room. All of that's a football players' scholarships are now in jeopardy. Why would all of the football players' stuff be in jeopardy?
It should be in jeopardy. It had nothing to do with it.
Right. I don't think like all of them wouldn't be in jeopardy, just the young men that are in the actual shoot. Which apparently somebody in the chat said that there was four or five students that were in the video, and the rest were part of Boston Richie's crew. So
hold on. Let me address this right here. Does it matter the color of image is negative? Yes, it does. It solely does.
Apparently there was only 5. There was less than 10 students that were actually in that video.
And I'm gonna tell you like this. I know a lot of people when I'm at work, y'all. It's a lot of people that come in like they want to shoot videos, especially like in my shop, and I always tell them, you can't because one, my shop is basically it's leased through Macy's. I'm a Liz employee, but it's leased through the shop where I work at is leased through Macy's. So it would be inappropriate if somebody came in and did a video in my shop and I didn't get authorization from Macy's, or I didn't get authorization from Liz, or they didn't come get it, you know what I'm saying, get it authorized for me because I'm the person that works in there and I'm the one that run, that manages that shop. So I always used to tell them like, no, you can't do it. Now, if it was my own store or like by itself, I'm not, what I'm saying, I wouldn't mind because that's really free publicity for me. But I've seen a lot of people like that. It just, hey, can we come shoot a video on your? No, sir. And I give you $100. I give you $200. What they gonna do for me? Only thing they're gonna do is put food in my house, and all my and the boys in my house gonna eat it all up. It ain't gonna do nothing for me. So
well, all we can hope for is, because somebody asked the question, is it possible the approval was given but the song was not vetted nor reviewed before release? We're just gonna hope that if Boston Richie did get approval, or there's a text message floating around where he asked somebody and they said, yeah, that's cool, we're gonna hope that as a rapper he goes with the no snitch policy and he just doesn't say anything. Because otherwise there could be some folks getting into some big trouble. I will say that due to the ESPN or all of these outlets coming out about it, it did actually make his music video go viral.
it sure did.
So I'm wondering, it almost has 300,000. It basically gets 6,000 views per hour. His new Send a Blitz video. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to get him to take it down after he's gotten almost 300,000 views in less than a day. In less than
getting benefited from that.
Yeah, and I'm making another comment on what Mr. Ford was speaking about earlier. We also have to understand that although there was a statement came out on Twitter about the incident, and the actual college president actually stated that, basically alluded to this, saying that they were going to handle everything in-house. But there's a but to this. Like Mr. Ford stated, you still have to report to the powers to be. And that's when it comes down, like he was stating, like the graduates, 60s, 70s, 80s, those are the, most of the time, those are the donors that actually control. It's just like you having a board of directors, although that's not their official title, but they run the school. Right. And you have to answer to them. So it's not the fact that we're cheering on, stating we want something bad to happen to FAMU. I would never cheer no mess on like that. Right. Because number one, that's an HBCU that I'm not a product of that school, but I'm a product of the HBCU culture. Right. And what we have to understand is it's basically set up just like corporate America, whether you like that statement I just made or not. Those are facts, because most HBCUs are 60% of the time, those are state funded schools. Now, that's a whole nother argument, whether they give the money to us or not. We already know the answers to that. But at the end of the day, you still have people like DeSantis that you have to deal with. So this is not something that can be swept up under the rug. And no, we're not bashing them. If anything, right now, we need to be uplifting FAMU. Right. Because they already went through the rigmarole with the young lady. Although, yeah, I did the little SWAC hotline and we joke and all that stuff just for banter, laughs, shits and giggles. Okay. But at the end of the day, you still have to, it's kind of like this. You got a toddler running around in your house, right? And then they pull a plate off the counter. And then you clean it up. And then a couple of days later, they go back and pull the plate off the counter again. after a while, it's time for this stuff to stop.
Right.
So it's not the fact that I'm saying, oh yeah, come down on them. Oh yeah, please do this. Please make this happen. No, I really wouldn't want that to happen to them.
Right.
But someone is going to have to let this Florida boy mess go. Don't bring this to school. Know how to do it in a contractual, I hope you understand that, and contrite way.
Right.
Because it's a certain way to do certain things. Now, I mean, I would be remiss to say that these kids can't listen to the hip hop and make videos, because hell, that's all what they do with the TikTok and the Snap Rap, whatever all that stuff is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'm 47. I don't deal with none of that. But anyway, they do stuff like that. You know, that's their modern day era. But at the end of the day, it has to be trained, taught, and executed. And see now that with the info that you just brought out, Ms. Timona, about he had other his crew with him or in that video, who's to say that they were even supposed to be on that campus?
Yeah.
See, I'm talking to you now how the board of directors look at things, the people that govern that school.
Right.
Right.
And they don't have official titles, but they have official money and they have official clout.
Right.
And that's my only concern with that. And I was just, when I was breaking that stuff down, I was telling you some of the ramifications that could happen. I'm not stating that I want it to happen, but you know, it came out, you know, what I do. And I answered you and Mr. Ford, you know, question as I was very remiss with my words, you know, trying to say the right thing. But, you know, in corporate America, I'll just be honest with you. That's another Ed Reed situation. That's called a fireable offense.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and then he could edit, Boston Richie could edit, like we're able to go back, like if somebody does a copyright on our video, we're actually able to go back to our video and you can clip that part out or you can mute it if it's like a sound that's copywritten, and then you're still able to keep your video up and you're still able to get the monetization dollars from it. So for me, it would just require him to clip out the parts where he's in the FAMU locker room. He'll be able to keep that video up with the 300,000 views and he'll be able to keep his monetization. So that's something that Boston Richie should look into before they even give a cease and desist, is just go ahead and edit your video and edit out the pieces that have FAMU paraphernalia or logos up, and then you'll be able to keep that video up. As vulgar and disgusting as it is, you'll still be able to get your views. That's the answer for that.
Let me see. Can anybody answer this question for me right here? Answer this right here. If y'all read this, that's on the screen. And because I understand, Dragon, your son goes to Jackson State. Your son plays in the Broom. I understand that, but there's a need to go back and try to throw your institution, which is PWI, which is University of Alabama at Birmingham, in the face of us, because y'all got money, we don't. Let's not do that, man. Let's not do that. I know you here to hear about Jackson State stuff, and
maybe I don't know. I've never tried to do that though, right?
What?
Can't he replace the clips with other stuff?
I mean, he can.
I haven't seen, like, I've seen the I just do the auto because I'm not getting ready to do like a voiceover or something. So what I do if I get a copyright flag is it'll tell me what minutes are copywritten and it'll say edit this out, and then you just click edit out and then it'll do it. So can they go back to the parts where it was Florida A&M and then like
on that note, here, like Peanut Butter Hero said, you'll have to do a whole new video. Like for real, you really would have to do a whole new video if you try to redact everything on the video. Like you have to do a whole new video. Like you would have to that video would not even exist. So if here's my whole thing. Here's my thing about this. If you're going to do a video close to FAMU, like do it around places that FAMU students frequent. You get what I'm saying? But
oh Lord,
even though it's a public university, right? It's a public university. So once you step foot on the campus, it's you know what I'm saying? It's a free for all. But if you start doing things like in their student center or the student union or or like Al Lawson Center or like you said, Bragg Stadium, stuff like that, you have to have that authorization from the university. You have to have the authorization from the higher ups. Like, can I do this? And FAMU, what FAMU needs to do is say, okay, we can give you this, but whatever money that you make, like we got to take a piece of that. You get what I'm saying? And it's not, you don't have to be a big old piece. Just take a small piece. Like you take like 15%. But they're gonna keep 85.
So, I just hope that I hope that some of those football players are not some of the prominent people who are supposed to have impact this year.
Well, to add to that, and like Mr. Ford stated before so eloquently, that it's probably more. I'm hoping that it's not going to turn out that way, but more than likely it probably is. It's probably going to be maybe like a self-imposed, game or two for those guys. I can see that happening because it was just. It's just think about it this way. If you live on top of a hill, are you gonna get used to firecrackers always coming up on that hill from the valley? Think about it. It's just like you stay in a neighborhood and now 2 doors down, not saying that they do this, but 2 doors down, somebody's running a meth lab in your neighborhood. Are you going to be okay with that? No, that's not your house, but it's your neighborhood.
Right. I get it.
So, it's just a big old mess. And, prayers and shots out to FAMU. Hopefully they can get this issue worked out because, my biggest thing was when I saw it on the ESPN ticker. Yeah, and that's what really kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit. I was like, oh Lord, here we go again. So
another thing too with this is that hopefully other HBCUs are looking at this and taking this into account and making sure that they do necessary precautions. Rappers or
and the answer, I don't mean to cut y'all. The answers, Jordan, I think this will qualify as self-inflicted. I needed that laugh because I'm kind of stressed out a little bit for FAMU, but that would be the actual definition of self-inflicted as opposed to Coach Willie Simmons. That's the definition of self-inflicted.
Coach Simmons has been doing a good job this off season without no kind of distractions or anything like that. He want to make sure that his players are certified. He did what he's doing what he's supposed to do. He recruited, real good as far as getting players to come in there. And now you end up with this situation right here. And it's sometimes I feel what I'm looking at it is like he can't catch a break. Like your football team can't catch a break. So hopefully this issue, this situation does not hijack SWAC Media Day.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? This should not be to me, every question that's being asked, that's going to be asked on Tuesday, should not be about what the video and stuff like that. It shouldn't be
Right. It should be about the season that's getting ready to come up, the
in the
players
yeah.
that have came here. They, it's a big honor for them to SWAC a fool is really, really, really petty.
Hold on now. This will be petty right.
Listen, we're not going to focus on that. SWAC Media Day, we're going to be focusing on first team. Like what?
They're gonna have the first team, second team, offensive, defense. They're gonna have the predicted order of finish for
the ADs are going to be in the building. The commissioner,
yes.
The football coaches. It's going to be so much more than this debacle, and I think it's a disservice for HBCU media outlets to cover it. Like, move on. They've said that they're going to handle the investigation. At this point in time, it's under investigation. Okay. Everything else we won't be talking about that. So let's move on.
So I got a couple of shout outs. Israel Carey sent $25. Shout out to Israel. And Miss Rebecca Wilson with the $50 donation, and we appreciate it. Mr. Theron Waters, aka HBCU Band Talk, with the $20 donation. And like I said, Mr. Allen with his $100 donation for SWAC Media Day. So we're still taking donations right now, and if you feel generous, go ahead, open up that pocketbook. Ain't gonna sound like no preacher.
Oh no, not the preacher.
Oh man, I ain't gonna sound like no preacher. Mr. Ford, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I ain't know because it past bedtime. You ain't.
Yeah, you right.
Mr. Ford, you make sure you send in those questions before Tuesday because we are going full stream ahead.
Okay, and I was told by the FAMU people today that the commissioner comes to Atlanta on a regular basis. Oh. I didn't know that because he's in Birmingham. Yeah, and Doc, we talked about how close Birmingham is to Atlanta. Supposedly, he's over here a lot. Yeah.
Oh well, maybe y'all can sit down for lunch.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
We don't wish that on you guys, Mr. Dion. If you actually listen to the show, we're actually trying to defend FAMU because we are an HBCU culture. So, so no, we don't.
This wasn't petty time. This was like
this is realness, right? This is realness.
Hold on, yeah. Hold on, Mr. Allen. I'm gonna pass the plate for the building fund.
You gotta put the sign up.
What sign?
The thing that I have down there with our information on it.
Oh my bad.
Okay, now pass the plate.
Pass the plate for the building
fund. Pass it.
You got any shout out? Have anybody sent you more shout out? I mean,
Mr. Walker, we need a prayer. We need to call the SWAC hotline because we need to pray for our HBCU.
Oh, we need I forgot we need the SWAC hotline tonight.
Well, no, I think we need to pray.
We need some prayer.
Well, Father God in heaven, we come to you with humble hearts, open minds, and open spirits, Father God. Father God, we're praying for our culture, Father God, to move forward, Father God. And Father God, we ask that you take care of our brothers and our sisters at FAMU University, Father God. We know that you have the final say so, Father God. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen. We still taking these donations, y'all. All right, now he said it ain't gonna work. FAMU by 30. Come on now. We just gave you a word in prayer. Now we'll take that. We can retract that back if we want to. Oh, my mom on the live. You on mute. you don't.
Mama Smith said, "Amen."
Amen. My mom is at convocation, AME convocation over at Paul Quinn this weekend. So she been there since, was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday afternoon.
So one of the things that I'm most excited about SWAC Media Day is Coach Maynor. You know, a lot of these coaches, they kind of lost their banter identity with Prime coming in. It was all, you know, I'll be quiet, but when he leave, I'll be talking again. So I am excited to see all the talking again, because you know it's been real quiet these past couple seasons. It's not been too much talking, but now I think they're gonna let loose a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. That's another person I really want to interview. Is Coach Maynor, because like he's literally charismatic. You know what I'm saying? He got some lines for you, but I just feel like if you humble him if you beat him and you humble him, he ain't gonna say nothing. Remember, it took him a whole year for him to say anything. He didn't say nothing last season.
He was talking at the press conference this past week so do we need to do quickly before we get off, before we end the live, do we need to do a rendition of Gremlin and the suits that they had on, just kind of like a replay or whatever of last year, some of the things that went down last year? The fashion show that they had, I mean, they were talking about it last year about SWAC Media Day. And that's why I was telling you, like, when you come to SWAC Media Day, don't be half stepping, because you'll get caught out there. Mm-hmm. It turned into a red carpet fashion show. And so I'm gonna see if I can find that picture that they had for I don't see it. I know that Shador was dressed to the nines.
Yep.
Yep. So did you see if it was on ESPN?
What's that?
Oh, they was dressed nice. Here, I'm gonna pull it up.
She said, pull up that photo.
No. Which photo?
Talking about Grambling.
That was dressed nice. Oh, wait. Yeah. That was a SWAC Media Day.
Yeah, it was Valley last season.
That looked very, very well put together. Okay.
Yeah, that was Caleb Johnson to your left. And I forgot who was that to his right.
That looked very nice.
Yep.
I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up some more pictures, y'all. And that's why I said that we need to be dressed nice when we're doing our you know, when you interviewing somebody, you don't want to be half stepping, right?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna wear some khakis and, well, not even khakis. I just wear some jeans, and basically, if it's cold in there, I'm gonna have my hoodie on. So yeah, Niles and Shador, they was dressed to the nines. You know what I'm saying? Even Coach Sanders, even if you know Prime gonna have he gonna
put it on, okay?
He gonna be suited to booted. Now I get it. Whatever y'all can say bad, what y'all can say very bad about this man right here. But when it comes down to the fashion, that man be suited and booted. I don't care what anybody say. And that's the thing too. You gotta, because the way he said it is the way that you look. You you yourself are a brand.
Right.
So this, don't get me wrong, even though he's in the mountains of Colorado, I did take bits and pieces of what he said, of what he was bringing out there all the time to, put it in my little daily affirmation and stuff like that. He is clean. The man stay clean. He's so clean. It's dirty.
That I think that's one of his
That's one of his quotes.
yeah. So clean, you're dirty.
So clean, look dirty.
So I cannot find. Did they scrub that picture?
They couldn't scrub that picture.
They couldn't scrub it.
They ain't scrubbed that picture. It's out there.
I can't find it. Maybe it's on Twitter. Surely they didn't put it out in the public like that, right?
Oh, it was out there. Oh, Brandy said she sent it.
Okay. Well, y'all, I'm not gonna let y'all make it. It look like I'm getting ready to put it up here. Are these it?
Yep, the mariachi band. They was I told you I gave my rendition of the SWAC Media Day last season, and I kind of put them on blast. Now
It's gonna be a fashion show, so you better make sure you put it on.
I wouldn't call it a mariachi. I think this looked like it was more from the 70s. It was from the 70s. I didn't like them. The thing about it is I like the color scheme, like the black with the gold.
Where's Coach Dooley at?
The black with the gold, but
I don't know why I thought it was
on the white shirts, it just threw everything off. Now I get Coach Hugh Jackson with the black shirt, button down shirt, and the gold tie. But those white shirts, yeah, I couldn't do it.
This is Texas Southern.
That's Andrew and
Anderson, D. Anderson.
D. Anderson, yeah.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the last one is, of course, Mr. Coach Dooley. You know he gonna put it on.
Oh, Coach Dooley came in. He looked like yeah, he looked like he just came from the Playboy Mansion.
Wait, what?
That's what I said. He looked like he came from the Playboy Mansion. All he was missing was a smoker jacket. That was it.
Oh Lord. Oh, and then this was the year they had, of course, Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter.
Yeah, that was
last year. So that's this picture. And then let me see if I can find Coach Dooley.
Let me see.
We're gonna have to, well, not us, but they need to come up with like a SWAC Media Day, a SWAC Media Day hashtag or something, so that people are able to find. Okay, we got Coach Eddie Robinson up in here.
It was just simple.
Huh?
It was simple.
Yeah.
That is, go back. That's Demetrius Davis right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this one is right here. And then that is AD Cable, who was another young progressive athletic director in HBCU land.
Okay. I'm glad you know all their names. So that was Alabama State checking in. And then Coach Willie and let's see. Oh, they had of course. Is Jay gonna be there?
Jay Walker.
Yeah, is he supposed to be there?
Yeah.
Oh, they kept on saying that he was talking about that he was talking about when he was a quarterback at Howard, and nobody cares to hear about that during SWAC.
Oh yeah, nobody really didn't care.
Not that they didn't care, but they don't want to hear about that during SWAC Media Day.
So that's I think one of these guys is that's Dooley, and I think one of them. Hold on. One of them should be. It's not Dumas, but if Adrian, you in here, who's those two dudes with Coach Dooley?
Did he say?
Not yet. Who's those two dudes with Coach Dooley right here in this picture? Adrian. EA, I love Tiffany Green, man. Don't give me. Tiffany Green can get a whole party started just by her being there. That's Coach Maynard.
I think that's from 2021.
21. That's with a kill glass.
Yep. So that's just a couple of, fashion statements from the past couple of years with SWAC Media Day. So it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. I think that might be Cam Peterson from last season with Dooley.
Yep. They're all looking real dapper and nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you ready?
Yes, I am.
We are doing our last. Anybody want to do one last round of donation giving? Go right ahead before we roll up out of here.
Oh, you put the thing up so they can see it. Was that last season driving?
Oh, he's driving. So I think that was had to be last season.
Do you know if the pregame show is going to be in attendance?
Hell no.
How do you know?
He ain't gonna be in the attendance. That man is Colorado out all throughout the whole. Don't get me wrong.
He was at something recently.
I don't know.
He was very, very recently. He was at one of the events covering TC Taylor, but I think it was. I'm pretty sure Charles Bishop would probably more than likely be in attendance. I think. Yeah. I'm not gonna. Don't quote me, but I think that Charles Bishop will be more than likely in attendance because it's still SWAC Media Day. And then JG Rattler says, "Real Boston Richie released this song 3 months ago. It only generated 26,000 views on YouTube. As of today, his video has generated. It's actually almost 300,000. FAMU definitely has a strong brand. Yeah, it's a mixture of FAMU having a strong brand, but it's also like a mixture of also like the rage, the outrage, and people basically going to go look at his video because they want to know what transpired that is causing the football coach to basically suspend all football activities.
Oh yeah, Edwin. I think Yeah, Dr. Cavill should be there because he should be coming back from Virginia. So he should be there. I know Blue is going to be there.
SWAC and the Fool's gonna be there, right?
Yep. Swag and the Food's going to be there. Also, my boys from the Golden Boot podcast, they'll be there.
Do you know the wild card is coming? Do you know?
I think the wild card is coming, if I'm not mistaken. I like those. I actually watched the show before I got in the house earlier. They had some things. They had some good things to talk about. So y'all need to go over there to the wild card. Two young men from Alabama State that's doing big things. That's trying to do big things for their university. So y'all could go over there trying to help them out. Let's get them to 1,000 subscribers. So just as we do with everybody, even with the Golden Boot podcast, we can get them to 1,000 subscribers. And I like their content because my boy Pooh Bear, he be coming in with the funniness, and then my boy Ant, we call him Petty Murphy. So,
and that's I think one thing that they did change with that is you now only have to have, I want to say 500 followers now to monetize. You don't need 1,000. Did you know that? They changed it.
Yeah, they changed it. I'm mad. But then again,
they did change it. It's only 500 followers.
I should have waited then. But then again, I wouldn't even.
You're almost at 2,000 now.
I'm almost at 2,000. I'm almost 600 on my donation.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm almost $600 on the donation. Hey, let's keep it going. Let's see if somebody can add $10. 5 people add $10 each. 5 people add $10 each.
So I want to thank everybody for coming on the show. We're definitely going to have some great content for you after SWAC Media Day. And before I get off, I want to once again thank the people who donated: Mr. Waters, Mr. Dukes, Mr. Hargrove, Mr. Jackson, and then of course we had Miss Kim do a donation for the both of us, and or Miss Sweeney, Mrs. Sweeney, and Miss Keisha also. Thank you all for the donation. Next week, are we going to have a show on Monday night? Are you coming on Monday night? Or are you coming Tuesday morning?
I leave out Monday. By Monday night, I'm trying to drive out Monday afternoon.
Okay, so you're not going to. So
what we're going to do is we're probably just going to go ahead and do a show Tuesday while we're there and see if we can set
definitely on Tuesday. I might have a Monday night show because I want to get. Nobody gave me any nice questions that I think, for each coach. So hopefully we'll have a show on Monday. Maybe if I see some special guests there, then maybe I'll be able to get pre-interviews on Monday night. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a great day for not only just the SWAC, but for all the SWAC schools. And yes, Mr. Haynes, it's not. I'm not driving 6 hours just to talk to Jackson State media.
Now Jackson State media is going to cover all Jackson State. We've already we talked about this last night on Ken's show. He's already said it that he's going to talk. It's just strictly Jackson State, but my show, my platform, Simona's platform, and other platforms, we're going to be able to talk to all, try to talk to all players and coaches. So that's my whole thing about that right there. We got a $10 donation. Ooh, $10 donation from my mama. $10 donation from my mommy. And if y'all ever seen a picture of my mother, we are damn near like twins. Okay, so Mr. Quaid, the scholar, that issue right there is not. None of those player scholarships are at jeopardy. So don't even read into that foolishness. they should be fine, but they will get in trouble for it though. if they were part of this. But hopefully everything should be good right now. But yeah, what I'm looking forward to is, like I said, looking forward to meeting a lot of people in a lot of different uh in a lot of different, from different avenues, especially like media perspective, like print media, uh, radio, television. One of the people I really want to meet is Carlos Brown, and he covers Southern. I want to meet him. I mean, like I said, Dr. Cavill, even though I interviewed him on my show last year when I first started out, and we're on a HBCU nightly every Wednesday. Like, I actually want to meet him in person and want to pick his brain about certain things. Um uh Hold on now. Yes, I accept money from my mama. If my mama send me
Right.
money,
She's supporting his
supporting her.
business
She's
as an
supporting her
entrepreneur.
only son. Thank you.
Mr. Haynes.
All right, now I'm gonna tell you, my mama 5'5". Don't let the baby face fool you. She'll get with you. But now, but just going around and meeting different people and wanted to meet, finally trying to meet Ken and Zoe in person, pick the brain of Decoy C, meet up with just all of us, all of us creators that in this space. And I'm just looking forward to. I'm looking. I'm wired up. I'm wired up. Come on, man.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for a great show. Love the topics, love the show. And we will see you guys back on Tuesday.
Tuesday. So it's the first time we'll actually do a show together on a weekday instead of a weekend.
Right.
And then we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and start doing a midday show on a midweek show to get perspective about different players and stuff like that.
Right.
Hold
So
on now.
it'll probably be like Tuesday during lunch.
Yes, because I'm usually off on Tuesdays.
Cool.
Right now, you see what my mama say. You don't play about hers. And let me give a shout out to my oldest niece, Tierra Matthews, aka TT. If you don't watch this video, I'll give the clip to your mama, my sister. I want to send my niece a very happy 24th birthday. She is 24 years old today. Yep. And that is my very first niece from our crew right there, me and my sisters. And then next week on the 31st will be my nephew's birthday, and he'll be 22. And this is their brothers and sisters. And it's from the same mama. So yeah. We're gonna shout them out, and that's my family. I love my nieces and nephews and kids and stuff like that. So that's what
And then yes, and then I want to also shout out Miss Hempful for subscribing to become a member. Thank you for joining my YouTube channel. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Good night.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. Stay safe and stay dangerous. We'll see you Tuesday. Peace. All right. Make sure that y'all still hit that cash out. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the comment section, like section, follow. Just do everything that you want to do. But we out this thing. Hopefully, I might do a special show tomorrow to continue doing donations as far as getting up there. we close to the goal, y'all. We close to the goal. But again, like I said, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe and y'all stay dangerous. Be out this thing.